Hey guys, I'm a few seconds late on that. I was running back in. I realized that I had forgotten some. Holy crap, there's a lot of people here already. Wow, Jared must have said something about this in his live stream. So I'm actually trying right now to get my mouse to work so that I can work through these comments. There are 14 people here. So you guys know tonight my guests are Ritchie B and Lyndy Lou from Knife Modders. What is this? 30 minutes. What do you mean 30 minutes? 30 seconds. It's a 30-second countdown, goofball. So let's go ahead and bring him in. I was talking to him a little bit before we started, just so we get some baseline and stuff like that, and made sure that we had audio and video because I didn't want the people on Apple Podcasts to have to listen to silence for the first minute and 20 seconds like they did with me and Jared. So let's go ahead. We'll bring these guys in. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hi.
What's going on?
Already a lot of people here.
Awesome.
Nice.
What's up, guys?
Snuz says, "Is it NASCAR season? I see a hillbilly with a headset." Thanks, bud. I don't watch NASCAR. I watch sprint cars, dirt tracks. Asphalt is for the highway. All right. So let's go ahead, and since there's already a bunch of people here, we don't have to try and keep people entertained till we get people in. I just wanted to tell you guys, tell me about yourselves. Because in all honesty, I don't know a lot about you guys.
Oh God! All right, you go first. Like what kind of stuff?
I don't know. So like, basically, like you guys. I know you guys now. I know that you guys are from Northern California up there. But
okay, we could start there.
Yeah.
We're from Monterey, California. I am 28, even though I don't look it, and he is.
Yeah, I'm 26.
Yeah, he likes older women. And I don't know what to say.
Yeah, well, I grew
love
up
putting
here.
people on a spot.
I've lived in Marina, my whole life. She lived in Watsonville.
Santa Cruz, mainly.
Santa Cruz.
Correction.
Yeah, we both got into knives about 2 years ago.
And then kind of, what started was, okay, fine, I'll talk about where it started. We saw Brian. What's his Brian's username? Anything knife related.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know if you know who that is on Instagram, but we saw him doing the lightning ammo, and we were into knives like we had Gonzos. Okay, that's where it started, was Gonzos. He had a Kershaw Leak, and then we saw Brian doing these lightning annos, and it was like game over, and we were determined to figure out how to do the lightning anno, and then
and at that time, like nobody was like saying
it.
how it's done, and like you couldn't find any information on it at all. So we just basically had to like creep through people's Instagram pages, through the comments, trying to figure out how it was done. We get little like hints here and there.
And the people we did ask, they would just blatantly ignore us, or they would just be like, "I promise not to tell anyone." So then, yeah,
I promise you, I won't tell anyone. And like, I'm telling fucking everybody.
Yes.
I came across the lightning ammo. I came across it by accident.
Oh, really?
I was just honest. I just polished some scales. I was heat coloring them, and I was like, I didn't want to wait, and I quenched them. And instead of quenching them in a thing of water, I wasn't paying. I was at Elliot Williamson's shop there at Fair and Forge, and I accidentally quenched them in the ferric. And I was like, what has happened?
I know.
What a happy little accident.
I feel like that's what didn't Matt Christensen said. That's like it was like a happy accident for him too.
I think so.
Because Matt Christensen like reached out to Ritchie and he was like, "Man, I created that and you do it better than I do." So I guess Matt Christensen said that he was the first one to.
But I mean, then again, I've heard so many people say like, "Oh, I came up with it."
So maybe they just happened on it, and so they.
I would say Olamic was probably the ones who made it really popular. Though. I don't know if you know, but they ended up paying like a good amount of money
to learn how to do that.
To learn how to do it, to have the dude teach them.
All you do,
they were pissed when like other people.
And this was past mic fell down. So all Eugene would have had to have done was just kind of like ask me. He's like, "Hey," because I had already accidentally done it, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool," but it wasn't what I was looking for, so I just polished it again.
Yeah, I mean, they started doing it. I mean, once they started doing it, everyone wanted to know how to do it.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long after they started doing it that the world found out.
Snuz, that's a jerk off answer. What are we talking about? What are you talking about, Snuzz? I wanted to thank everybody. Like, I just wanted to go ahead and throw this out there. I wanted to thank everybody that's a paying member, and I wanted to bring something up. I did a post, and I mentioned a video, so I don't forget, because we know that I do like to load that glass saxophone with the jazz cabbage, and I will forget this. There is a channel that I used to watch religiously. This guy had a big medical problem. He almost died, and he kind of changed the way his channel went, and he really kind of dedicated himself to being religious, and but it was besides that, like, that's not the point I'm getting at, but he really started to give back to his community. He was his name's Aaron Hips. It's Claw Kicker, and he basically was doing videos, and any money he made, he was giving like $1,000 a month to charities to benefit children that didn't have enough food, foster children that needed food and needed clothes and things like that. And so he got enough hate about one video he did where people complaining because he drove over some food. And you're like, oh, you wasted that food. It was like $100 worth of food that was going to get him enough views and income that he was going to donate $1,000. And he got so much hate on it that he just basically stopped. And I wanted to tell everybody, if you get a chance, find my community tab post, go to his channel and just let him know, like, hey, the only way the haters win is if you let them. So that's just something I wanted to do. I had that written down, and I still would have forgot it. So,
oh no, seriously though.
So you told us about I'm horrible at this. I really wasn't paying attention. How did you guys meet? Because I've got it down here. How did you meet? We know how you got into knives, but now how did you meet?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Fuck it. We'll tell the story.
Let's keep. We're already at like 3. I've found out that if I have 5 hard F-bombs, I lose monetization on it. So we got like 2 more. I talk like a sailor too. It's okay.
Oh, okay. I mean, oh my God, you should hear me when I get mad. So, all right, how do I start with this? Well, I was hanging out with a girlfriend. We were drinking, and then how do we tell this story? Because there was drugs involved. And during that time of our lives, and that's how we met. Anyways, he came over to my girlfriend's house because we called his friend to come over to bring those things. And he contacted Richie and was like, yo, man, I need a ride. These bitches want us. Right? And that's what he was getting Richie to like come hang out with us.
I was like, fuck yeah. Oh, fuck.
He was like, yeah, I'm down. Let's go right now. And so he drives all the way out to Watsonville to come hang out with us. And then we meet. And then I'm drinking for a loco. I am trashed out of my mind. But we stay up all night talking. And we're up until like 8 a.m. Oh.
Yeah, we gotta.
Oh, I'll keep them coming.
I don't have a bell. I've got a.
It's fine.
I was drinking out of my bell a moment ago.
Yeah, it's thrifting. So yeah, we stayed up all night talking, and then we decided at like 8 a.m. we're gonna, head over to his side of town in Marina. We drove over there, and then I think I really had to pee, and so he pulled over so I could go pee at a Jack in the Box. And then when I came back out, I was sitting on the side of the road smoking a cigarette, and he came back from the liquor store, and he had like super sticker. Yes. And he had
I don't know that's the thing. Like, Jared, I can't see what it is, but I'll check because I have to review this when I put it up on Apple. I won't see what the actual sticker is on here. So
well, he came around the corner with like a bag of tall cans, and it was like 8:14 in the morning, and then we've been together ever since. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So like
there's way more to that story, but that's like, PG-13.
A lot of people ask me how I met my wife and all that. Like, oh, how did you meet your wife? And I was stationed in Japan, and it's kind of the same. I was out with my roommate and a really good friend of mine named Alan. He might be in later. He was a roommate of mine. We lived together for several years in Japan. We were on the same ship, and so we went to this town. It's like a couple hours away. And it was a big bar district. And we went there to meet some girls. And we got there with every intention that we already had hotel rooms. And
it was happening.
And I was like, this really sucks. They're not as much. I was like, how drunk were we the last time we talked with these girls? Because they're not that much fun. And we see a couple girls that had walked in, and they looked like they recognized us. And they were like, is that Mike and Alan? And I was like, because I can speak Japanese. So I was like, So he was like, he's like, what'd they say? And I was like, I think they know us. And it happens that we had a big beach party, and they had showed up at the beach party with the guys that they were with because they were on the same ship as us. And the girl that was with my wife really liked my roommate, but was with somebody at the day of the beach party. Next thing I know, they sit down at our table. The girls that we had been with had left. Right. And we're talking and we're drinking, and we're like, hey, let's see who can kiss the longest. And we did that. And Alan and this other girl were kissing. And it was my wife's best friend. And my wife really wasn't sure whether she liked me or not. And we got done, and I went up to get beers, and I came back, and she went to the bathroom and came back. And all of a sudden we were talking to each other, and I realized Alan and my wife's best friend were gone. I was like,
probably got in
a matter of 5 minutes. And she goes, I'm supposed to stay at her house. The trains have stopped running. It's like midnight at this point. She's like, where am I going to go? And I was like, I know where you can go.
It's not like I had this planned or anything.
She's like, well, what about my friend? And I was like, oh, trust me, I know where she's at. She's going to be in the room right next to ours.
Oh shit, that's so funny.
And I was still horrible. I was that guy that was always talking about like, oh, you're juggling girlfriends. We pick one up, and if you drop one, I was like, we got married when I was like 26, 27, I think.
Wow. Yeah. And when did you guys meet? How old were you guys met?
About a year or two before we actually got married. So, and that was 19 years ago. Well, actually, no, that would be 21, 22 years ago when we met. My God. And then we've been married for 19 years.
Oh, that's crazy.
So just a happy accident.
I love that. That's how this, it was the same kind of situation, similar. Drinking was involved, definitely. And then, so his friend ended up going with my best friend, but they were both like awkward as shit. Like they just sat there not talking, being really weird. And it was like, and him and I just wouldn't shut the fuck up. And like, bomb. So and he just talked.
Let's see. It might happen. It might not.
This may not be monetized. I'm so sorry.
Guys, just remember, this one's not being monetized, probably. Okay. So keep with them. I can't even last 2 minutes.
Damn it, Emler.
I didn't used to be able to, and then I went to journeyman instructor school for the Navy, and you can't curse while you're teaching. Like when you go through the curriculum, like you can't. If you're teaching a course, you can't curse. And I can turn it on and turn it off. Like when I'm filming at regular videos, very rarely will you ever hear me curse. Right. But in live feeds, it's more free flowing. Like do I have a list of questions? Yes. Have we asked very many of the actual questions? Not really.
We'll see. We may hit one or two of them. We'll see.
Yeah. But that kind of leads me to the next thing that I was gonna say. I was like, Richie, do you have any idea how lucky you are that you have a chick that's into? Not like.
Oh man!
Well, I had to get her there first.
I know, dude. Well, after I don't know, 700 plus hours of Nick Shabazz, he brainwashed me with Nick Shabazz. Is what happened. There was a point I would just be bitching at him. I was like, shut the fuck up. It would drive me nuts. His voice just drove me insane. And then I remember he went to work one day and out of my own free will, I turned on a Nick Shabazz video. And that's he came home from work and I was still watching knife videos. And I was like, well, I guess I'm into fucking knives now. I don't know. I guess this is where we are. So I accepted it. And at the time I was working at a Dollar Tree and I was doing shipping and receiving. So I was unloading trucks and stuff. And so he's like, why don't you take this to work with you instead of using a utility knife? He slowly introduced me to it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. He's trying to teach me how to Spidey flick a Gonzo knockoff Delica. And I took it to work with me, and I thought I was a badass, and it was great. And I'm surprised my manager didn't mind that I had a 4-inch folder.
Oh yeah, you remember some lady came by, she was holding the knife.
Because I was opening boxes, and this old lady went to my manager saying, "There's a woman back there with a knife," and she was like a total Karen. She was freaking out. My manager was like, "Oh, she's fine. That's she's just doing her job."
So typical.
I know.
Have you guys got to meet Nick Shabazz in person yet?
No. I talk to him once in a while, though.
Okay, so I'm friends with Nick, and I as a matter of fact, Nick to the point where I like Nick enough that I had my birthday a couple years ago, August 30th, at USN in Vegas, and I had I could kind of handpick who I wanted to have my birthday dinner with, and I picked Nick Shabazz, Aaron Frederick, Will and Eric Touch from Touch Knives, and my little buddy Nico. Yeah. And we had a blast. And if you get to meet Nick, like if you have a mental image of what Nick looks like based on his voice, if you're like me, you're probably just you're like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I've seen a picture.
We've seen pictures of him. We know what he looks like.
Yeah, I hate that happened. I was really
I know. I reported it.
I was like, what a dick move. And the guy's like, well, he should
report it so bad.
Hey,
he shouldn't have used his real name. And I was like, he didn't use his real name. That's not his real name.
I know it's not his real name.
Are you gonna be at USM this year?
No, USN actually is happening right now.
No, it's on September 4th.
Yeah. I thought it was happening now. I thought USN was in August.
No, it's next month.
Oh no! It was the Vegas. It wasn't. It was the Vegas Custom Show. That's what it was. That's why Aaron Frederick was there. And then September.
Okay.
I went that year. I went to Blade Show West, Cali Custom Show, the Tactical Knife Invitational, USN, and then something else that I went to. I had people sending me, and this year I'm going to Blade Show West for Artisan. I'm working at the table at Artisan.
We're working at MBK, so we'll be running the MBK booth. Yeah, so we'll be there at Blade Show West.
Tell Sanford when you get there, because I have a hard time catching him on Facebook Messenger. So let him know that I'll be there and I'll stop by the table. I love Sanford. That dude hooked me up.
He's an amazing person.
He's the best. Like he hooked me up with these. Yeah. I got 2 of these. These are the tan micarta. There were only 20 of these because he didn't like them.
Yeah, I remember.
And so he's like, dude, I'll give you the. And he wasn't going to charge me. I was like, I want one. My buddy Nico wants one. And I was like, you got to let me know how much they were. And he was like, don't worry about it. I was like, no, we're definitely going to pay you. And then when he told me, he gave me, I think, stupid, insanely low price on them. And then that's when I had to quit working. And the kid was still skating and she's doing all that stuff. And I was like, I'll pay you. And then when things figured out, I was almost a year later. I was like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, right when we first met up with him and we were first really getting into mods, our buffer was just like a drill.
We had a drill with a little mini buffing wheel in it.
It had
it was a
like the little headlight kit, like the headlight kit for.
And then we were using a 1x30. So
it was from Harbor Freight. So like we went up to meet with him, right? And we were all super nervous. Like we'd never, we hadn't met him yet. I had no idea what he was like. And we we're like, okay, well, like, this is embarrassing. He was talking to us like, oh, so like, what's your setup like? And we started telling him how our buffer was with a drill and that like when we tumbled stuff, we had like a milk or a muscle milk container that we'd shape with rocks, like like the bear bone.
I did that so many times. Trash can tumble. You can get a really interesting pattern if you do an ano and then shake it with just some rocks from the yard.
Oh yeah,
and you can shake it lighter, you can shake it harder.
I mean, no, for sure. We still
trash can tumble. Yeah,
it's great.
This is so. This is Dean. This is Dean. He's actually in Ireland. I refinished a couple knives for him and sent them all the way to Ireland.
Did they make it?
Yeah. I did a torrent for him that he wanted a specific. It was a 2-tone ceramic and ano. It was like 3 different steps in it, and I did it for him. And it's like, and I sent it to him, and he was like, "This is bomb." 4 a.m. in
Ireland.
In Ireland right now.
Are you just waking up?
He's probably still up.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I have nights like that.
So what is what kind of ceramic coating setup do you use? I heard you were saying a nano ceramic.
Yeah, I use the nano ceramic that they have in. They sell it on Rio Grande. It's a liquid ceramic. It's like electroplating. It's basically like anodizing. So, except you basically put it in, and you swap your leads. So when you're anodizing, it's positive to part.
Right.
When you're doing it the other way, what I would do is I would just keep the leads the same color so that I would always remember positive part, and I would just put the positive lead in the negative terminal. And so basically it's almost identical. So you set your voltage, you set your current, and you put it in the liquid and you turn it on and you watch your current stay constant and then your voltage decline. When you get to 0, it's completely coated. You wash the excess off, you let it dry, you soak it in some distilled water to take off any minerals, and then you bake it on.
Right.
And it's I've got a couple of knives here that have it.
Would you say, I mean, about as much work as like a standard spray-on ceramic? And how much more durable is it?
Way more durable. Like I've had this knife. This is the original ceramic that was on it when I bought it from Chris and Elliot. The only reason that the spine of that knife is scratched up like that is because I was home in Ohio right before my dad died. He was sick. I had to make sure the tractor was ready for the winter so that my brother-in-law could plow the snow out of the driveway because I'm from Ohio. Right. And I used the spine of this knife, this $700 knife, to clean the terminals on a tractor, the battery terminals.
Right.
It holds up. It's
so
the only
like
thing that is more
like
durable.
It doesn't wear down or anything. Like
Not really.
From your hand oils or anything.
I mean, you can. But that spray on that Cerakote's not an actual ceramic. They call it a ceramic. It's not. This is a true, honest ceramic, and it's for the. It was originally developed for the jewelry industry. So it's got to be really wear resistant. But you can see, like, I've had this knife for 5-6 years, and you can see there are some spots where it has worn a little bit in and out of pocket.
Do they have different surface or finishes, like mattes versus gloss?
Yeah, like matte, flat. And,
it just it depends on the color, because that is the ultra black, which is really shiny and glossy.
Gotcha.
But like this is.
Is there a wide range of colors?
And it's a lot. Yeah. I've done. Oh, yeah. Here, check it out.
Oh, that's dope. Is that red?
Yeah, it's red and black. Red.
Oh, that's dope.
And black. And I've worn this out, but that's because this knife gets dropped a lot, and so that blade has held up. It cuts, and you can see it's a really thin. You can still see, like you can do it over top of just the satin. So you don't lose your marking.
It gives a different finish based off the surface finish, right? Exactly. So if you blasted it, you might have more of a matte finish.
That's on a blasted.
So you don't need to blast it for it to adhere?
It doesn't adhere as well, and it doesn't last as long.
Okay, gotcha.
Got it. Okay.
But
like similar prep then as spray on.
But the problem is with the Cerakote is it's a thick coating, and you get a lot of friction. So if you're cutting, you lose a little bit of my Hellhound. You get a lot of resistance and extra friction, and then you're this one. Wait, no, this one. I did a Hellhound. It actually wasn't a Hellhound. What it was I called it what do you call it? Fire and Brimstone. I called it a Fire and Brimstone, and it was the black on a polish, and then I tumbled it a little bit and then did red. And so you get, because when you tumble it on a polish, it chips because it's so much thinner. And then when you did that, then you could do black over top of the red or red over top of the black, however you want to do it.
Right, and then you have color peeking through.
Yeah,
exactly.
We use gun coat and Cerakote. Gun coat is a good bit thinner than Cerakote, so that is one advantage that it has.
Yeah, it still just doesn't hold up. Like that is a true baked on ceramic. It's almost like enamel. You know how when you bake enamel and then it turns into glass, you bake that, it turns into true ceramic. And the other, like I said, the other thing about it is the only thing that wears better than that nano ceramic is DLC. But even with DLC, you can get rust under DLC. I've seen it on some Riats.
Because it's still it's porous to an extent, right?
It's so thin, when you do this, when you do the ceramic, I blast like this one. I'm trying to find it. I don't know how clear it's going to come through, but I blasted this one and then coated it. But you can still see Bob Terzuola's logo still through.
Right.
But it's thick enough. It's thick enough that it's impermeable to any liquids and things like that. It doesn't, like oil and things won't bother it because it's a true ceramic, but it's still thin enough that like, even when you do hardware, I don't mask off the threads.
Right.
It's not even an issue. So
that's cool.
But so Marco Polo was asking about this knife. Yes, I absolutely have this. I probably won't ever get rid of this. This is the best production knife I've ever owned. All around bells and whistles. If you're going to talk about like probably the best constructed pocket knife I've ever had, it's the Sebenza. But for all around just everything, like this is the best pocket knife at the price, because this is the same price at the time as a Sebenza.
That reminds me of the Torrent a little.
Yeah. But this, I did all the ano and stuff on that. Try the Jack,
nice.
Mike. Yeah, I like this knife so much that I wanted. I'm like, that's a sexy. It should look like a race car. So I did it blue and bronze on a polish. It needs redone because it just
I know,
it gets
but
carried
blue,
a lot.
it fades pretty though. At least it's still kind of like a purple.
It does.
Yeah.
It goes from like a blue to kind of like a purple.
It goes
and then a bronze.
through the colors. Yeah, because it's
Well,
all layered on there.
I know it's not going to come through, but this looks bronze on top and blue, but I carry this so much I've just worn the blue off. This was like blue like what's on the screen there when I did it.
Right. And now it's kind of like a grayish kind of color.
Now it's kind of a bronze. If I clean it up and get my hand oils and stuff off it, it's kind of a bronze on top.
Got it.
Marco's like, I want that shit.
Yeah, personally, I don't really even like anodize any of my tie knives. The fingerprint thing just
drives us insane.
Yeah,
it drives us insane. If it's a matte, even plastic finishes is just like rough. Yeah.
I like to do like I do an ano like this is an ano on a tumble, and it holds up way better.
Yeah, 100%.
And then as it pocket wears, I just dunk this in the tank because it's green.
Right.
It's like a dark green. And then I just dunk it in a tank and just 14 volts bronze it. And it looks like patina.
Yeah.
It looks like patina. It looked like patina copper. And people were like, wow, did you get copper scales for your? I was like, no. No, it's just anodizing. I've just allowed it to pocket polish. That's what I love about so I like doing an ano on a knife and then letting it wear and get its own kind of character.
Yeah.
There is no other knife that's going to have that exact wear pattern because of how I use it, how much how much I carry it. Monster Races, like Mike's flexing some beauties tonight. I could break out some other stuff, but I'm not going to. It's the case is right over here. So,
yeah, I think what I prefer generally is just like a blast and tumble on ties with some like black aluminum oxide, that super dark finish.
That like dark tie look. We're super vanilla. We love to mod, but we are super vanilla when it comes to like our own collection.
I did a couple things with that lightning ano like you guys do. And I liked it. It was really attractive, but the fact was it did fingerprint really bad. And then if you scratch it, you're like, oh, I want to redo it. So I was like, I can't just keep redoing this. And so I just stripped it off and I just went back to a basic.
Yeah, it's a long process.
Just a basic blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like orange peel. I like an orange peel and then ano because it doesn't scratch. You still get the color. But when you do that orange peel, what you're doing is you're bringing the vanadium to the surface and doing like it because the AL4V titanium has aluminum and titanium and vanadium in it. And aluminum titanium as an alloy actually forms a weird alloy that's actually stronger than either one of those elements were by themselves. And when you do the orange peel, you get that brought to the surface and you get these what you're seeing on an orange peel, those are those little parts. Those are like the little peaks of the vanadium coming to the surface. And that's why
I didn't know that. Yeah. What the hell?
Have you ever noticed when you do an orange peel, like if you do a heavy orange peel, like it's really hard to scratch that. Like it's regular titanium. And it's not that you're just not seeing it. It's just the vanadium is now available to surface. And then if you just like sand it flat, but I didn't know that either. Elliot Williamson told me that.
I know, he's a fucking genius.
So the titanium and aluminum will kind of move out of the way and it brings the vanadium up and it just kind of brings it up in especially if you do it on like a Scotch-Brite, real light. You just basically, and you can do it to a point. Like I've done some really, really heavy orange peels for customers where it just feels textured. And you're like, wow.
Man, I feel like sometimes after the more aggressive you get, the like uglier it can get sometimes. You know,
I don't like the surface conditioning belt Scotch-Brite. I more prefer the wire wheel.
Yeah,
but if you use the wire wheel, you get steel in it, and then you can actually get rust. I don't use the belt. I use a Scotch-Brite wheel, and really light at high speed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the look that you get from that one. It looks, I don't know, man.
It looks inconsistent. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just the ones that we've done.
And that's why I like it because you'll never get the same pattern twice. Like I never want the same pattern twice. And who in the God's name is texting me when they know I'm doing my live feed?
How rude.
How rude. I actually like the orange peel. I like the orange peel so much that my wedding ring that I made is orange peel.
You made that? What the hell?
Yeah, because you can't buy a ring that size. You guys haven't met me in person yet, have you?
I know. Charge up the ass.
The company that I was doing construction for actually got upset because I had to have gloves because I kept blowing gloves out. And they were like, okay, we had to order an entire case of gloves because it was cheaper per unit. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you are the only person on a job site that has XXL gloves. You're the only person in the company. And I mean, that's the company they're like, that's the whole company from San Francisco all the way down, like all the subsidiaries.
Like, you are the only person.
They're like, you're the only person that needs a XXL glove. And I was like, I need a new pair. I ripped them. He's like, you did what? I was like, yeah, I caught something. I ripped them. He's like, what was that? It covers imperfections. Yeah. And like I said, the other thing too is if you don't like the scratching, the orange peel will prevent some of that scratching because it's technically the surface now is harder than it was. The only problem is, hey, my little buddy Nico is here.
And just like having that raw orange peel, whether it's like without the anil, it really like you won't see scratches in the same way you will blasted or an anodized finish, just because the raw, sheer just shininess of the titanium.
I think that the ano actually lasts better too, because this knife, I definitely orange peeled and then did the bronze on this way before these other knives. And this gets a lot of pocket time too. And the ano has definitely held up better. And
it's not going to wear in the valleys because the raised part is protected.
So you that's interesting. I didn't think of that. That's a good point.
So it actually kind of protects it a little bit. So
that makes sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Sausage finger, ham hands, Mike. Did you guys notice that I definitely changed my my name from this morning's live feed after the gym? It's not Pix McStink. What was this? Got a Malibu. What was this? Got a Malibu. It just got a Malibu bead blasted and tumbled by knife modders, waiting for it to come back in the mail.
Oh, hey, Ken. Nice. Hey, Ken.
Ken, your knives actually went out 2 days ago. Yesterday, they went out Monday, I think. Your knives went out Monday, so you should have those back too.
Came out gorgeous, the Malibu. Everyone loves the Malibu.
I don't like many of the Protex. What? I
like the Malibu. That's probably. I'm not big on Protex either. But
I haven't gotten really to see
surprised.
One. I haven't gotten really to see one, but I had enough issues with just quality things, just like with Benchmade, just like with Spyderco.
Any other company. Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. Like I was like, okay, they're charging a lot for knives that are basically kind of substandard at this point. But I have seen that they have rectified a lot of those issues. So I may have to go back and take a look. Again.
Most of those I've handled have been really nice, but I don't know. They're not.
We haven't handled
most of the designs I don't care for either.
I would tell you guys I love my Mordax.
Well, that's the one I was going to tell you about. I'd tell you some of the stuff that happened with that Mordax run, the titanium ones.
I would love to. Yeah.
But I can't because I'm also in a non-disclosure agreement with Fair and Forge because I know so much about the inner workings of the business that I can't tell you. But like,
don't want to get you in trouble.
The whole thing was when I found out, like I showed up at the shop and these guys Chris and Elliot were jumping through their butt to fix things and get things ready because they're like, we can't ship these to customers the way they are. And I found out and I was like, I was mad. Like I was like because they weren't going to the next knife show and I was like, I'm gonna grab Dave by the throat. And they're like, just leave it be. Just leave it be.
That sucks. That really sucks. And like you guys had a deadline to get them all out to customers. Yeah. They're already
purchased.
This? Oh, that sucks.
Is this mic down a little? Am I being too loud? That could just be that I'm deaf and I'm wearing headphones and I cannot moderate. I worked inside a gun for 3 years.
No, you're not being. I mean, are we being loud? Is there an echo or something? Because we don't have that. We don't have a mic. I mean, like a headset or anything. So
someone tell him, Marco, what are you talking about? Someone tell him what? I have no idea. So at any rate, those of you that are on YouTube, you can't see what's going on. It's in the comments.
I know. I have my phone up so I can check once in a while, but I want to be a dick and like not pay attention. Like, hi guys. I'm reading the comments once in a while.
Okay, well, you're the only one that's seeming to have an issue with it. So turn your volume down.
What are you talking about?
I have no idea.
Is there anyone else in the chat who can clarify what the...
No, everybody else says it sounds fine. Okay, so...
All right, cool then. What are you flipping, Richie? Somebody asked. Talk about this knife. This is his new baby. This is his new, firstborn child.
So, 940-1 with transparent knives, reblade.
I have one of those here. I have one here. Same dude. Yeah, I have. It came in for sharpening.
Oh, they're so good. They're so good.
Yeah.
Transparent's awesome. He's super talented. And this was a fluke. So I guess Transparent fucked it up.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a customer order. And then I guess he just experimented on it. because the grind is interesting, super thin.
I see that.
Super thin.
The stock is like
and he posted it up, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it again because I'm not gonna send this to the customer." And I was like, "Would you sell it?" And then he's like, "Dude, I'll just give it to you. Like, send me a message and give me your address for shipping."
Yeah, and he got it for free. It's like a $300. Yeah,
I'm kind of jealous. Awesome. Kind of jealous right now.
Yeah, he's super cool that way though. His rejects, so list him.
I'm trying to get him on the channel, and I'm gonna let you guys know. I actually just talked with I talked with a guy that knows Nate Summers, the guy that won what, like that. There is no closer to my face. That's it. It's on a boom. It's not like I can
turn
get
up
it
your
closer to my
volume.
face. So at any rate, hey, Murky Ocean is on Twitch. So I am streaming this on Twitch as well. At any rate, shit, now I forget what I was saying. Oh, Nate Summers, the guy that won Forged in Fire, is friends with some of the guys at full30.com, and they just said that they were going to get in contact with him and have him get in contact with me to be on the show.
Oh, that would be dope.
And it looks like that on my birthday, Monday the 30th, Elliot Williamson is going to be here.
That would be awesome. I'd love to see him in a podcast, or like just to see what he's like. Because I've watched all of his videos on YouTube.
He's great. He's a big he's a big giant weirdo.
I know. Well, yeah, I can tell. I don't know.
He's just awesome. Great.
In the best way. I mean that in the best way.
At this point, it's more like I said once. We were talking about it one time, and I was like, I was in the shop, and I was like, at this point, like, because something had happened, and I was trying to help out with something. And they're like, well, you don't have to do this. I'm like, yeah, but at this point, you guys are like family. And Elliot looked at me and goes, well, you know what? That kind of makes sense. You're kind of like the big brother I never wanted.
How long have you known them for?
Oh, I don't know, 5-6 years now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
that's
I mean,
so how did you guys meet again? How did that happen? I kind of heard stories.
So this is the weird one. So at the time, my daughter was little, and she was still into knives, and she was still into going to sprint car races with me, and she had just started skating. She wasn't doing it competitively, and so one day she was like, we were watching. I used to watch. I still do watch Walter Sorrells, but before I really got into this is before I had my YouTube channel. So this would have had to have been before 2015.
Right.
So this is before I ever had the channel because I wasn't burnt out on knives yet. And so we were watching YouTube videos, watching Walter Sorrells, and it was just on random, and it was scrolling through, and she and I were sitting, and she was sitting on my bed and playing and stuff, and she was like, so we were sitting there, and all of a sudden it rolls through to a Farron Forge video, and Chris and Elliot were in a taco shop or something, but you could see out the window. And my daughter goes, "Daddy, that's right across the store that's right over across the street from the Japanese store." And she's like, "They're here in San Diego." And I was like, "I don't know, babe." She's like, "Can we go? Can we go visit? Can we go?" Like,
oh my God.
And I was like, "Babe, I don't know. It's, that's a business. I don't know." And I was like, "Let me see if I can find them on Instagram." And so I found him on Instagram, and it was a Friday afternoon, and we were really busy on Saturday. And I was like, let me see if we can go up on like a Sunday. I was like, it's a good chance that we can't. And she was in school, so during the week was out, and I was like, let me see. And so Saturday afternoon, I sent him a DM on Instagram, and I was like, hey, just curious. My daughter saw a video, and we're both into knives, and we were just curious if you guys would be cool with, me bringing my daughter up and giving her a quick shop tour. And like literally like 30 seconds later, Elliot comes back. He's like, yeah, sure. No problem. He's like, we're here every day. He's like, I'll be here.
Awesome.
He's like, I'll be here. He's like, whatever time you come up. He's like, here's the address. He's like, just come on up. And so we hop in a car Sunday around lunchtime, and we decided we were going to eat at the Japanese store and then go to Elliot's shop. We show up at Elliot's shop. They brought everything out. They showed her all the stuff. They gave her a walk around. They brought this big blue box up and put her up on this thing so she could sit and see. And that was it. And then they told me, it's like, oh yeah, you come up. We have what we call a happy hour Friday. We have a Farron Friday up here. And there's a brewery right across the parking lot. Just come up. And I basically never left.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's such a wholesome story. I love that.
I mean, to the point where like we moved from our house, we sold our house and moved into this place. Elliot brought his daughter, and they helped me they helped me move. They helped me move from one house to another. And I was like, wow. And the whole thing was, at the same time, he was moving his shop and I couldn't help him do that. But he came down and helped me because I was in the process of doing this.
Oh, what a cool dude. That's awesome.
He's one of the, he's like, some people are like, oh, he's this, and he's some people say he's conceited and he's
condescending. People say he's condescending.
It's not that he's condescending. He talks, that's just how he talks.
Yeah,
and it comes from a place where, like, Elliot literally is a genius. Like, he has a above the line
I totally
IQ.
get that vibe from him. Like, you can just tell he just thinks differently than other people. Like, he's
exactly,
just,
and it's just, it comes from a place where
he
just
looks.
Yeah, he's got
he's got a
English teacher,
degree,
right?
He's got an English degree.
Yeah, and so I know.
Nico's like, that was a long day of moving. Yes, it was a long day of moving that took me till like Thursday the next week.
Oh, that's so funny.
Are you guys
still in San Diego?
Actually, technically, we are no longer in San Diego. We actually live in San Ysidro, which is just right outside of San Diego.
Oh, okay.
I moved like 11 miles south. I could walk to the border though. Like, I am close enough. I could literally walk to the border. Like,
shit.
When I go out and I drive to the base to go get groceries, I can see the border wall. I'm literally
such a trip.
That is a trip.
That's a trip.
There's one more US exit before the border.
Wow.
And it's where we're at the outlet malls down at the border where it's the duty free and all that stuff. We're literally like one exit from there's one
end of
one last so there's an exit. There is an exit at the border that you can get off and then come back around. So technically, but that's the border exit. Like, it's your last turnaround. So that's where you're going to go get into the line for the border crossing.
That's crazy.
And you can get back around. So there's one exit between me and the border.
That sounds like a good time.
So Dean asked me how I met Nico. It was at a Fair and Forge Friday. And Nico was up there.
Have we seen him?
Yeah, he's
Nico's
been
the Hobbit.
He's
the Hobbit.
He's been on some of the podcasts.
Okay, maybe I don't know. I'm dumb.
Right there, the Hobbit.
Oh, hey, Hobbit.
That's his actual username.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I thought you meant like you were just referring to him as like a short person from the Shire.
He is, but that's.
Is it just short, like relevant to you because you're massive?
No, like, he's not very tall. Like, his wife is taller than him. My daughter is about the same.
I shouldn't laugh. That's mean, but that's fine. He calls himself the Hobbit. He's asking for it.
Yeah, but Nico actually does hydrographics. Nico did a bunch. No, that's not it. Nico did a bunch of stuff for me. He did the handles on a pistol for me. He did the scales on this.
What the hell?
That's my gent that he redid.
What does that mean? Like, what are the scales made of?
They're just G10. And
really?
He put that pattern. If you go and you find, if you guys go and find some of my old videos where I'm standing in my kitchen in front of these elaborately detailed cabinets that look like beautiful polished and lacquered grained, like maple grain wood. Now those were like $40 shitty cabinet doors that Nico dipped and did hydrographics. So what it is
what the hell?
You paint them and then you paint a base color and then you put a film across water and it turns back into paint and you dip it through the paint and then you bring it back out. And
then I've seen that before. I didn't know that's what it was called.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, it's called hydrographics.
Yeah. He was?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. They were talking about that. I saw a YouTube video. Anyways, I could go on a tangent, but yes, that's awesome.
Nico, that's what he did. And so Nico was up at a Matt. He was at a Fair and Friday, and I showed up, and he was like, "Cool, I get to meet you too." And I was like, "Wow." And then I mean, it just kind of was like, he's one of the coolest dudes, one of the best little dudes I've met. So and he's done a lot for me. I try to do stuff for him. I just can't do I have not been able to reciprocate as in kind as much as I would like, but he's actually my channel manager. He has full access. He has full access to my anode a ring for me. I have one.
The one.
They did, like, because he's the Hobbit. They did a ring for him.
Oh, that's so cool.
Just for him to have the one ring.
Oh my God, that's adorable. I mean, not adorable, you're a man, but it's cute. I was obsessed with Lord of the Rings when I was a kid. Like Legolas and I, we are a match made in heaven. I never liked any of the
I never liked any of the Lord of the Rings movies.
The books were good. I read the books too, but
I didn't care for them.
I loved them. I was a little nerd. I was all for it. I had fucking Lord of the Rings posters all over my fucking walls.
Yeah, I mean
they're all just Orlando Bloom posters, but that's fine.
So the first night that Nico and I met, I probably shouldn't say this out loud because we definitely neither one of us were safe to drive home.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, we drank until we drank at the brewery till they closed, and then we drank at the shop until Elliot left, and then he came to my house and we drank sake at the house.
Nice.
Somebody blocked somebody. One of my mods blocked somebody. Mr. Wong, if you're listening, I don't know. I think it might have been. So what happens is we get a lot of people that come in here and they just want to cause trouble and start complaining about like Chinese stuff and doing stuff like that. So I have moderators. Somebody probably blocked you because they thought you were going with something that probably wasn't the direction we wanted to go. So if it happened by accident, I apologize. But we try to keep it so that it doesn't get abusive in the comments. But yeah, we went to my house and we drank sake and whiskey till late, and then got up the next morning and he went back. I can't remember, Nico, did you drive me down because I was too drunk?
I thought you don't get drunk, Mike.
Oh, yeah, you don't get drunk. What happened?
I do. I do from time. It takes a lot. Like, it's an expensive proposition, but it does happen.
Dude, I know. I mean,
I'm
also not 6'5", but I can drink and handle.
I'm like 6'3", and on top of that, like I've told people, my doctor has established, because when I had surgery on my nose, he was like, has anyone ever told you it takes like a serious amount of anesthesia to keep you under? And I was like, well, I'm a big guy. He goes, no, like a lot more than we would have expected. And I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah. He's like, we had to use as much paralytic on you as we would have used for like somebody that's like 300, 400 pounds, 350, 400 pounds.
Shit.
And I was like, what? And he goes, and still at one point you reached up and tried to knock my hand away. And I was like, what?
That's crazy.
And he was like, he's like, I gotta ask you a question. He's like, there's a series of questions that go along with that. He's like, okay, the paralytics don't work on you. He's like, are you allergic? He's like, I could check your record real easy, but you're allergic to numbing agents, aren't you? I was like, yeah, I can't have, like, anytime I've had stitches or anything like that, I just have to just white knuckle it. Right. And he's like, okay. And he's like, this is making sense. He's like, you don't get drunk easy, do you? I was like, no. And he goes, okay, you have a metabolic condition where these things, like, you metabolize things so much faster than average.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
He's like, I figured that you probably metabolize alcohol probably twice as fast as average.
Right.
And I actually have tested it.
That sounds like a good time.
Well, I can have like 7 beers and still blow like clean. Like I could like still be safe to drive. Like, cause I metabolize.
That's the dopest party trick. Oh my God.
You've tried that? You tried blowing in a breathalyzer?
Yeah, I have a buddy. I have a lot of friends that are cops, and they're like, if you tested it, and he's like, yeah, I'll just go out to the unit. He's like, I got the unit here, and he grabs the breathalyzer. He goes, I was just like, I was drinking. He's like, how many you had? And I was like 6 or 7, and I blew. And he goes, dude, you're not even close.
Oh, that's crazy.
So I had 2 more. He's like, you had 8? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, dude, you're like almost at the limit right now. He's like, you can have 8 beers and still drive.
And
I was like, I don't. But the thing is, I don't feel safe driving. Like if I've had more than 2 beers, I don't feel safe driving. Right. I'm probably still going to.
For legal reasons, he doesn't drive after 2 beers. To clarify,
after 8.
Okay.
I'll still drive after 2.
No,
I won't drive after 8. Maybe.
That's fine. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Depends on the amount of time that's transpired from the 1st to the 8th, but
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
okay. What's up?
Got one of these cruxes right here.
Dude, this is my fucking. Oh, I'm dropping F-bombs. It's already too late.
It's okay. I'm pretty sure we'll
I love this knife. I love this knife. Oh my God, that's my favorite. I wish all knives.
Yeah, I've got 2 of these. Yeah, all of these have really good detents too.
Yeah,
I have a special because we got another. I got to ring the bell.
Ding ding ding.
Gotta ring the bell. Ding 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 ding. Mine is a special because Chris and Elliot, their shop was in the 858 area code. So if you called their shop, it was 858, and then I can't remember the rest of the numbers. And Chris was like, he's like, when they first got the shipment, he goes, I'm kind of bummed. I was hoping we get the 858.
858.
I have this. I have the 858.
Oh, that's dope. Oh, that's so cool.
I have the one that Chris wanted, and I have said if I ever decide, like, because I love this knife, and I have promised Chris, I was like, look, I promise you, if I ever decide I'm going to get rid of this, I won't sell it. You can have the 858. I'll trade you for whatever one you have.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, but the fact is, like, this was a gift from a subscriber. So I would feel really, yeah.
Oh, how cool is that? What are the odds?
Just
well, if you ever see an 831, let me know.
831.
Yeah. That's ours.
What was that? Beast Blades, Lyndy Lou and her potty mouth.
Oh, I'm so not sorry.
I actually.
What are you gonna do?
I actually almost named the Crux. The Crux almost had a different. There's two of their knives I almost named, and then they kind of changed them.
What was the Crux, or what was the Crux going to be?
Yeah.
I forget what I was going to call the Crux. Oh, I remember. No. That was the Gent. So I almost named the Crux, and I don't remember what the original name for that one was going to be.
Yeah.
But the Gent, they were saying, oh, we're gonna come up with a gentleman's knife, and then they came up with the Gent, and I said, well, what's every gent have? Because a gent, that's kind of a British term. Every gent drives a coupe. And I tried to get, and they were like, actually, because they hadn't come up with a name yet, and they're like, actually, that's not bad. That's not bad. And so Elliot was like, all right, because they were names for the new gentleman's folder. And he's like, at the top was like coupe. And then I came in a couple of weeks later and I was like, yeah. He's like, it wasn't that. He's like, it wasn't really us. It was Mass Drop. And they kind of just wanted to go with the gent.
Oh,
I cannot remember. Yeah. Elliot, Nico's like, Elliot liked it a lot. It almost was the name, but that was Mass Drop's choice.
Right. Makes sense.
All right, I have a question for you. Here's a good one. And I asked Jared this. So I asked like knife people. I didn't ask Josh from Full 30 the other night. Custom versus production now, yay or nay? Because back in the day, and this is where I come from, back in the day, there weren't good production knives. They were all garbage.
I can tell you right now.
With the exception of a couple of companies.
Depends if it's CNC or handmade customs, and there's very few like strictly handmade custom makers that I would take over a production knife.
Yeah.
I would go production all day. Unless it's like a mid-tech where it's like they get water jetted, there is some CNC involved, like, but most of the time they feel like bricks.
Mid-tech.
Yeah, I mean, CNC
customized mid-tech,
customs,
yeah.
only CNC made customs are legit because then you get, you know,
best of both worlds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Then you
custom
get this.
heat treat.
Yeah,
and
right. So I mean, that's the obvious answer. But I mean, it is also cool. Like,
I've handled a lot of customs, like, and a lot of them fucking suck.
Yeah, we handled the custom Nirvana, custom Satori. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just
I don't know. I guess I just expected more. Like the first time I handled one, but
it makes sense now. Yeah.
Now, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm wearing basketball shorts, brown socks, and sandals, I would stand up and go grab something that I was going to show you guys. That I could use.
Well, you've already told us what you're wearing.
Yeah, but you don't have to visually see it. So at any rate, what I was going to say was, I honestly have Nico's Bob Terzuola's full custom with that was 75 for 75, and there are some guys out there that still just nail it.
Yeah, I've never handled Bob Terzuola, so I don't know. I'm speaking just off of what I have handled.
Well, and the problem is that a lot of times you get, and I said this, and somebody went in the comment section, was, that's just because you're a lazy shit knife maker. I was like, I don't sell my knives at tables. I was talking strictly about knife. What happens a lot of times is these guys, they spend some time coasting, and then right before a show, they jump through their ass trying to get things done. And that's why a lot of times I very rarely will buy a knife at a show unless it's someone I specifically know. Right. Because a lot of times these knives, they're rushed. And so you see knives that are at a show, and there's exceptions to that. Like Todd Rexford. I like Todd Rexford. I've talked to him. I had a Todd Rexford. I bought a Todd Rexford at a show. I paid $2,000 for it, and I sold it for $12,000 that night.
Oh my God.
I've never even seen a custom Todd Rexford.
I
made $10,000 in like amazing. 45 minutes, and I didn't even have to do any butt stuff.
That's it. That's a beautiful. I wish I could do that. Shit.
And
no butt stuff.
But the thing is, like some guys, like is it Michael Randolph or Michael Rudolph? I can't remember which it is. But these guys, they do it all the time, and they do it at their own pace. And they like Todd brought like one knife or two knives to the show, and he sold them that first night, and that was his whole show. He left. He didn't come. He didn't stick around for the rest of the show. Jeremy Marsh Jerry Marsh is another guy. Like his knives are always top shelf, and it's because they don't rush. But you see some knife makers that do that, and then you get
trying to meet
trying to meet that demand at a show.
Yeah, and still make a knife.
You'll see them on Instagram, like, trying to get these finished last minute before the show.
Because it's like they have their customers, right? So they put their customers on hold so they can make a show knife. Like when do they have the free time to do it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you see knife makers get in trouble. Not to mention anyone, but there's a guy right now. I may do a video about it, not here, but
right.
There's a really well-known knife maker that's in some heat right now that like he's not delivering. And so what he's doing is he took a bunch of money from a customer that wanted a specific knife, and he took all that money and he's like, yeah, we'll do it. And then he dummied up and never answered this guy. And
that
then
seems to happen all too often.
Sounds like a
he sold the same
situation.
Well, he sells online, like on Instagram, to someone the exact same thing that this guy wanted. And he goes, How? Like,
why wouldn't you just give it to the dude? I don't understand.
That's what I'm saying. And he's just he's not answering. But then when you question
what
about
a chicken shit.
When you talk to him on this Facebook forum, all he is abusive. No, it has nothing. It's nothing to do with Slicey. It's nothing to do with Slicey.
Slicey doesn't make knives. What the hell?
Slicey, I was say Slicey's not a knife maker.
No, I hope not.
I wanted to touch on something that Jared talked about. Do you guys like carbon fiber? He was talking about carbon fiber in his video. He showed crushing carbon fiber. I'm trying to organize things, or I'm going to kick stuff over. You guys are literally on like 3 empty milk crates, a piece of plywood. Right in front of the love seat in my garage.
You're on like a TV dinner tray that I got at Target.
Sweet. Okay, I just want to make sure this wasn't done professionally.
Yeah, you should see our carpets.
So he was talking about, like, he showed this video of carbon fiber being crushed and how much strength it has. Do you guys like carbon fiber, and why?
It depends on the weave of the carbon fiber, I guess. I mean, I'm not like a diehard carbon fiber fan. I mean, it's cool. I mean, when knives are done right and they're lightweight, I mean, that's fine, but I'm not specifically buying a knife because it has carbon fiber.
Yeah, I like it as a handle material.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Well, as long as it's not like, I've noticed some marble has like a lot of voids, and that looks like shit, honestly.
Right.
But as long as it's well done, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I'm not like against it, nor am I really like super obsessed with it.
I have to agree with you right there, Monster. He absolutely does. And he's a great guy. And I'm going to send him a text. I know he's really busy right now. He's getting stuff ready. I think he's got a run coming up. But I love Brian, and I would love to have him on the channel.
His are fully CNC
and
made.
His work is
they look amazing.
Beautiful.
Now I'll tell you my thing.
He's talented.
Tell you my thing with carbon fiber.
Yeah.
You guys like it because you've never made handles in it.
Oh no! I know.
Oh my god!
It's
just
splinters
in your hands, and my god!
It's the devil's plywood. It's horrible.
I don't know. I would charge up the ass to work with it.
I did.
No,
I definitely have. The only thing I hate worse is I have a knife. I have a friend that has had me make 3 individual custom knives for him. Every one of my models that I've made. Actually, there's a couple others and he had me do them in Thunderstorm Kevlar.
Oh my god. No.
Never again.
Yeah.
Never
again. No, that sounds like a nightmare.
I'm the one the reason that the 3rd one got made was because I opened my mouth and I was like, he's like, oh, I don't have your Habu yet, the drop point version of the Sea Snake. And he goes, and I was like, well, I still have enough of that Kevlar. I could make a set of handles.
Why?
And I'm like, the second I said it, I'm like,
well, charge him extra, dude. Be like, you're paying 2 fold for this shit. That's what I would say. He paid me more than he should have anyway. And he paid me more than I asked. It's my buddy Tino. He's always, he hangs out at the house. But yeah, we have doggy play date here at the house. Like his dog and my dog are best friends and shit. Oh, that's
so. I got a sheet of some marbled right here. This stuff is
0 voids. Like it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Do me a favor. Go out to your shop and try to drill a straight hole through it.
Oh no!
I'm gonna try to make some skills out of it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he's gonna. You're gonna make them for the gent, right?
Yeah,
he's making them for the gent.
I definitely recommend.
Yeah.
That you have at least 1 beer. And possibly a Xanax, because there's a good chance you're going to be throwing stuff. Like, there is a good chance you're going to throw things.
Oh no! Oh yeah. I mean, shit. It doesn't take much for that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Man.
There will be cursing and swearing and gnashing of teeth.
Oh, well, that's not anything unusual in this household.
So, let me see here. What was one? So we already talked about the customs. Would you guys like to do the Pocky One Chip Challenge with me as a fundraiser for my daughter?
I'm good.
Right now?
You're saying no? No. I'll have to mail it to you and stuff.
What? Oh, you don't want to do it?
No.
I've done it before. I've done it before. I want someone else to suffer with me live on
Is it
camera.
terrible?
Oh, it's horrible.
Which one is it?
It's the 2021. It's the Ghost. It's the Carolina Reaper and Scorpion.
No.
They're just like $50, dude.
They're $8 at the gas station.
I was just on Amazon and they were charging $50.
Well, because they only make so many of them per year, and
okay.
And if you can get them, and then people resell them because you have to find a place that has them. And my buddy just happened to be someplace where they had 2 of them, and he grabbed them both. And he goes, "Oh, you and your daughter could do it." And I was like, "I'm not letting my I thought about it. I was like, I was which reminds me, you guys have to remind me of the story. I have to tell you, I am raising a monster.
Of course, she's your daughter. What do you mean?
No, she's horrible. She should be doing psychological.
I'm sure she's smart, and I bet you she's awesome. I'd love to meet her.
It's brilliant. But
yeah. How old is she?
She's 13.
Oh, okay.
She's 13. She's doing college calculus. She's in honors English.
Yeah.
She's on the U.S. figure skating team. She skated in.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And that's why I'm doing it.
And she's into knives. How dope!
No, she's not anymore. She's outgrown that. She's not into knives. She's into hanging out with her friends and FaceTiming and watching goofy video streamers. And I look at her and I'm like,
what are you doing? You could be playing with knives right now. What
half the time I don't understand what she's talking about. Like she'll say something and I'm like, what does that mean? And she goes, what means this? And I'm like, that absolutely does not mean that. That does not mean what you think it means. My sister says shit sometimes and I'm just like, I feel like an absolute idiot. I remember someone said like, oh, man, I'm weak. Right? They're like, I'm weak or something. I was like, oh, have you eaten today? And everyone started laughing at me because it was slang. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was exactly.
Yeah, I've been there. Okay, it made me feel really old.
But no, I did it. Old. I used to have a friend. Well, I still have a friend. I have a friend, and he's a SEAL, and he's still active. Nice. He's in, but he knows what kind of person he is. He refuses to come to the house. He's never met my wife and kid.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like, no, he's like, I don't want to be responsible for that fight. And I was like, what? He goes, I know what kind of person I am, and he's like, I don't want to be around your family.
Oh,
and I'm like, okay. And he never got married. He actually had a vasectomy because he's like, the world doesn't need any more of me. Just so there's no action.
I can respect that.
Like this guy is just.
Why does he not want to come around your family?
Because he just offends everyone. Everyone's wife he's ever met. It's become an issue. And he's like, if your wife and kids are there, I just won't come over. But at any rate, he and I used to do things and we would eat the spiciest pepper in the world. I've known him since before he was a SEAL.
Right.
And because he was just, he went to school for it. And so I had one pepper and he had one. And then it got to the point where it was the ghost chili and it was my turn. And I ate the ghost chili and I'm like, you have to swallow it and then you have to keep it down. And then I'm like, that's coming out.
Like it's happening.
I wasn't happy. Yeah, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then so we went, the next time comes around, it was his turn and it was the Carolina Reaper. And he goes, yeah, he's like, I'm in the batter's box. There's a new spiciest pepper. And he ate it. And like, I was worried about him. Like he was like he couldn't, like he looked like he couldn't breathe. He was all doubled over. He was like, oh my guts. And then he calls me and he goes, hey, I just
shit blood.
No, he calls me and he's like, there's a new spice. This is a few months later. And he's there's a new spiciest pepper in the world. And I'm like, oh shit, it's my turn.
Oh.
And he's like, no, we're not doing that anymore. And I was like, what? Yeah. He goes, we're not doing that anymore. Yeah. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I honestly thought I was going to die. And he's like, if we keep going, he's like, it might kill one of us. But I mean, he would be somebody that might do it, but then again, might not, because the last time we did a bet, he lost, and I made him put on a pink Tony Romo jersey.
Oh, cute!
And go downtown with me to Hillcrest, which is where all the gay bars are.
Oh my!
This dude's a SEAL. Like he's ripped.
Yeah. Well, he's ripped. A savage if he owned it.
And he did. And we sat there, we drank all night. And I was like, man,
my God.
He was the belle of the ball. He got so many numbers that night.
Oh my
and he
God.
looked at me and goes,
free drinks? I would have used that
he's
shit.
Like, he did get a lot of free drinks. He got both of us free drinks, but he kept looking at me. He's like, you're going to pay for this one next time. And I'm like, I don't think I want to go poking that bear too much.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
Like, so, chapstick works on the balloon knot. But yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it as a fundraiser for my daughter. I told her she has to sit here and watch me do it. So she understands
how much you love her.
How much I love her, because I did it a couple years ago and it was miserable. It was horrible.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be recorded. I don't want the internet to see. I just don't know what happened. If I'm vomiting, shitting all over the place, nobody needs to see that. Nobody needs to see that.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. And the whole thing is, that like it's gonna come out, and you're like, you got to eat ice cream. That way you can be on a toilet, be like, oh, come on, ice cream. I know you're in there.
Yeah.
I know it's in there. I ate ice cream.
The opposite effect. I would literally die.
Ray from Everyday City Carry has done a few of them.
Yeah,
I think he just did
one,
actually. Another one.
He did.
I don't mind spicy stuff, but it reaches a point where
like spicy.
They're not good. Like the flavor isn't good.
That's what Ray said too.
I told you I can sidetrack and turn these 6 questions into a 4-hour live feed.
That's fine. I mean,
so we talked about okay. Favorite knife and favorite company. They don't have to be the same. Like you could have a favorite knife and have it not be from the same company. But what's your favorite knife currently?
Favorite knife that I own, like in my collection that I'm carrying? Is that the situation, or just of all time?
Well, just of all time.
Of all time. Oh my God.
Yeah. We'll right now it's this for sure.
100%.
Well, that's kind of a Franken knife. So that's 2 companies, 1 knife.
Yeah.
As opposed to 2 girls, 1 cup. Completely different thing.
2 different things. There's no shit involved. Thank God.
None at all. No poo.
No poo.
Favorite company?
They all have their skeletons.
Yeah.
I don't care if it doesn't have to be anything to deal with like drama or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I'm just teasing.
Because I definitely have them both right next to me. My favorit knife and my favorite company, which is a knife from that.
You gotta figure out what's your favorite company.
Well, what's yours?
Oh no,
what's your favorite knife?
What have I been carrying? Oh, the F5 point. Okay, see.
Mike was responsible for the marital strife.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. So it's like of all time, I can't say, but as of like right now, usually my recent acquisition is like my favorite knife. So like I go through honeymoon phases and then I move on to the next knife, and I don't know. I haven't met the knife of my dreams yet. But it's right now, I guess it's just the F5.5 probably, or the Drift. I don't know. I love this knife. This thing's dope.
Which one is that?
The Drift, the Quiet Carry Drift.
Quiet Carry Drift. I don't like the Drift as much as the Waypoint. I really like the Waypoint.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that that's not a good knife. It's just like I would take the Waypoint over it. And that's a great knife. That's a great answer.
Yeah, and then favorite company. Quiet Carry handled their shit pretty well. That was nice. I don't know.
Jared already said no. Jared already said he wouldn't do it.
And you got me stumped. Now I'm like,
okay. I'll say it's your favorite company. So Spyderco.
Oh, mine? For me?
No, for me.
Oh, for you?
Oh, so I've put them in timeout because now they have went and done something that has required me to inform you guys that Spyderco is not great. Just isn't. I've put them in timeout. It's like mint chocolate chip ice cream and things like that. There are some things that you deserve to be put in a corner for. So let's bring them back and see if they've revised their opinion.
Spyderco is. I have more Spydercos than anything else in my collection.
Yeah, either that. I have a lot of Tucsons. Also.
Tucson's good.
Tucson's
that's become a running gag when somebody says anything about chocolate chip ice cream or
chocolate
or Spyderco.
Mint chocolate chip is my absolute favorite ice cream, and I love.
Once again, they have said something that's required me to put them in a corner because they've said something that goes against the laws of humanity. Let's see. Bring them back. See if they can behave themselves.
You're so. I mean, like, I can't lie. I'm being honest with you.
Pistachio is my favorite. Pistachio
Ew,
ice
what
cream
the
is my
fuck
favorite.
is wrong with you?
See?
Okay. Well, actually, I've never tried pistachio ice cream.
It's awesome.
That sounds
pistachio ice cream is pretty awesome. It's not like salty pistachios and stuff. It's actually really good.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna try it.
It's actually really good. It's if you've ever had pistachio pudding.
No.
It's a lot like it's delicious. Right. It sounds terrible, but it's not. It's pudding with some pistachios in it, but it's a different flavor. Like,
have you ever tried like avocado smoothie, like boba?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So is it similar to that, where it's like avocado sounds like it'd be gross, but it's actually good?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, that's going to be disgusting, but it's not bad.
Yeah, it's delicious.
So it's easy for me because my favorite knife, and it has been for a while, is this. And people are like, I can't be like, it's gonna
smell is good too.
It's gonna wear off. You're gonna lose your love for that. This has been in my like I constantly like I have to pick like, okay, this is the part of the day where I get to put my Norseman back in my pocket.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm gonna carry the stuff. I'm gonna carry the stuff that I'm reviewing and using and things like that. But at this point during the day, I get to put my Norseman back in my pocket.
The Norseman is so ugly.
It looks like a platypus. But what I do love about Grimsmell is just their like absolute strive for perfection, like never-ending strive for perfection. And I can respect that. That's crazy what they go through.
It looks more like an angry pelican.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. It's a platypus to me. It looks like
look like a platypus.
It's a platypus.
And my favorite company, just because I'm friends with the guys and I see how much work went into it, and their designs are always good. It's Fair and Forge. So favorite company.
Right. Of course. I was thinking my favorite knife, the Holt Spectre, that thing. If I could only have one knife for the rest of my life, I would not mind only having a Holt Spectre. I don't own
an Ingress. I don't know which knife you're talking about. I do not own an Ingress. So I don't know which knife you're referring to.
I think that was wasn't that guy Nick? He had a Kickstarter for that knife, Ingress.
Was that knife?
Yeah, I think it was.
The big tall blade with the
I don't have that. That was not okay. So if that was
niche design.
Niche design.
Niche. So Nick, and I'm friends with Nick, but I don't own one. That was
that was just sent. Oh, okay.
Because I'm friends with him. He asked me if I'd be willing to try and do a review of it. And he lucked out and sent me one that didn't have a flipper tab. And I'm like, I don't know, Nick, like this just isn't a knife for me, until I accidentally, like I was in the kitchen and I was doing something and I was being actually lazy enough, out of character. No, it's not. That I didn't want to turn around and get a kitchen knife because I was making tuna salad and I was cutting up pickles. And I'm like, I pulled it out of my pocket. I'm like,
once you used it,
he has accidentally made the best folding kitchen knife on the market.
It's so tall. The blade's so tall. It makes sense.
So
it totally
thin.
Makes sense.
And without the flipper tab, you have it's like a chef's knife. You have enough standoff.
Who was that made by? Was it Rayoff?
Huh?
Who made it?
Was it Rayoff?
Manufactured it?
I don't remember. I don't know if it was Riat or I don't remember who it was, but he was doing the Kickstarter. Yeah. He did the kick. Those were prototypes.
Right.
He did the Kickstarter, but it never funded enough.
Right.
I know. That. Yeah, I remember that. So, I'm not gonna lie to you. That design was not for me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for, and that's,
it was odd.
He really named the company well, Niche Design. Like that was,
there was a
niche market.
Sense. Right. No, that's
Evil E. How are you, sir? For the guest humans, have you ever taken apart a Medford knife? Yes. And you know why I took apart a fucking Medford knife? Because I know it will piss Greg off. I kind of have a love-hate with Greg. Greg was military. Greg was a Marine. I usually like most Marines. Greg has a tendency to get over the top and abusive towards his customers. And he gets over the top and abusive towards individuals that happen to be from specific countries. And I'm like, look, you can have your opinions, but you don't get to be a dickhead racist about it.
Yeah.
So
that's not cool.
I found out that Artisan is going to be at the table next to Greg. And I'm like, I'm going to have to set some base rules for that bald headed little midget.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we've never actually had a Medford in for work. We had the Strider AR .75, which is Medford made, but I mean,
it was so smooth. That thing was.
Greg's knives are great. Greg's knives really are great, but he kind of, I think that he has gotten kind of full of himself at this point. He at a show up north, you had to pay to meet Greg Medford and sign his hand. I was like, who do you think you are? You're not Michael Jordan. You're not an NBA football player.
I don't like how they do the plunges. Just like no matter what, once you sharpen it at all, it just gets a huge smile. Like on all.
Yeah.
I don't like it. So Ken Wong asks, is Artisan really that good? They're good enough that I decided after looking at their stuff that I wanted them to make my production knife. So we have this. Where's my shop cat? I haven't seen shop cat at all tonight.
Shop cat.
So I decided that I wanted them to make this, and the quality is great. And for the price, their OEM is really good. Their production stuff is really good. They just, they do a really good job making things budget. I mean, they're when you compare like this, a budget fixed blade, to just being what it is, to like this, which is just over the top and amazing. This rapidly became one of my favorite knives in my case. And I mean, that action you can't argue with. So
they're higher end knives. Oh, sorry. Like Jesus Christ. Yeah, they're like higher end knives. They're built really, really well.
Yeah.
I love Artisan. Yeah.
What's that? Somebody always wondered if he did what? I'm asking. I've got to scroll back there. Bald-headed little midget. Did Greg see Wartime? I don't know, but I think he was a tanker, so I really don't know. But
so okay, a funny story. So I'm gonna throw myself under the bus. So Artisan Russell was really cool, and this was when I was doing videos on knife modders at the time. It was like the Knifes Meow back then, because like I'm a cat obsessed person.
Oh, I remember when it was doing that.
Yeah, and so he was so cool. He was like, "Hey, like you can pick a few knives and I can send them to you so that you can review them." And I was like, "Oh, that would be awesome." And I was just barely doing reviews. Like nobody go watch those reviews; they're really bad.
They're not even bad.
No, the reviews were so bad. Their earlier ones were so bad. It's fine. Anyways, so he sent them to me, and then I got overwhelmed with making videos, and then like my grandma got sick, and like life happened.
I was going to say life happened all at once.
Yeah, and it was just so weird. No, but it did. It was a chain of events, but like there's no excuse. Anyways, so they sat in my closet for September. It will be a year. And so when you had Russell on your podcast, I saw Russell and I was like, holy fuck, I need to contact him. So I contacted him and I was like, hey man, I still have your knives. They're in their box. They're safe and sound. They've been sitting on a shelf in my closet. Like, I want to get these back to you. What's your address? He was like, no, like you can keep them. How about you mod them and, do whatever. And I'll showcase them on the Artisan page. And like, so you guys can get some more followers and stuff. I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. So
yeah,
I don't know how to end that story, but yeah, he said,
I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm actually trying to set something up because I wanted to show everyone something. Damn it. That didn't work the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to come back in. So I don't think this is going to work out the way I want, but I'm going to try and share a screen and I'm back. So okay. I still haven't learned the ins and outs of all of this yet. So
yeah,
yep. It's not going to work. It won't let me do what I was going to show. I was trying to pull up a picture that I had saved from Instagram of something that you guys had done. And I was just going to show it. It was I guarantee it's not coming through clearly.
Oh yeah, that was the Tucson. That was the
old one.
Yeah, that was our old lightning nano.
We just started, I think.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah. Okay, there's a cat. Hold on.
This is an absolute honest question. Are you bothered that knives are not made in America? Yes, I am. But the problem is, let me see if I can explain this. So people are like, why would you have you're an American veteran. Why would you have a knife? Why would you have a knife made in China? And the fact is, before I ever approached anyone, I had been trying to get these knives done and out for literally years. And every company I talked to, like, this was the first project I ever did. This was the one I did with Wee. This was the Stonefish.
Right.
And I had approached several companies about like what it would cost for OEM and what it would cost just for that. And I had companies that were like, oh, well, you have to pay us this much and this much and this much.
Oh,
and then plus, and then I was like, no, you don't understand. I'm trying to license you the design. They're like, no, we don't care. You still have to pay us like several $1,000s in prototyping and this and that. And I was like,
right.
But I want you to manufacture and market these knives. They're like, yeah, and we don't care what you want. Like, we still want you to pay for all of this.
Oh my God.
And so because I was friends with Elliot had already started dealing with Wee. He was one of their designers.
Right.
and he was getting stuff done for Mass Drop at the time. He's like, why don't you just, he's like, I got the render. He's like, why don't you just send it to here? He's like, here's an email. Just send it to them. See if they like it. And within a matter of like 3 weeks, they're like, yeah, absolutely. That's a good design. We don't have any fixed blades. Let's see what happens. And so they sent me prototypes. The first prototype, the handles were a little thin.
Nice.
Because there was a conversion issue between the thickness of the steel they had and the thickness of the steel I wanted based on the way I made the customs. And they were like, well, we can account for that. And they just made the handle sticker. Well, once they made the handle sticker, they were awesome. They were great.
Oh, that's so
And
cool.
I'm like, that's awesome. We've got, we've got a ready to go product. And then within a matter of another, I don't know, 6 weeks, they were going out to vendors. And then I reached out to them because they sent me my first royalty check. And I was like, I just out of curiosity, are we doing this every 90 days or what? I have to account for like my daughter's skating and I want to throw that money into that. And I was like, not trying to rush anything. I just want to know if we're going to just do this based on sales every like 90 days. And they took that email and they looked at it and like, you know what? We thought about it and we're just going to pay you out for the whole run. Like right now.
What?
So they just paid me for the entire run based on faith that they would sell them.
That's so cool.
And in China, you really can't beat the cost to quality ratio. To be honest, there
was a question that just popped up on that too. It's like, doesn't quality assurance suffer when it's not American made though? I'll tell you for a fact that I have American made knives that come in that are not as well done.
Subpar.
Yeah.
Subpar.
I know I'm probably
going
to get some heat on this. The Millet Torrent. I have never had a Millet Torrent. And they're U.S. made, U.S. manufactured. I've never had a Millet Torrent that came in that was centered, that the action was good on. And by the time you get the centering, the action's too tight. By the time you get and like you crank that screw like a
tiny bit, and then it's locked in.
Yeah, just a cutter. Not even like a dark Mediterranean one, like a thin blonde one.
Yeah,
just that far, and you just lost. It's like, oh my god, I can't even open it. But if you go the other way, then you got blade.
That bugs the shit out of me.
And I'm speaking of USA made, MBK is going to be doing USA production here in a couple months.
That's great.
Yeah, me and Lyndy are going to be a part of it. Everything will be done in house with the exception of water jetting everything.
For the blades.
So we're going to get that assembly and then grinding and then
everything will be in house. Yeah.
Finishing work. The issue with it always is that American companies they're like, well, we it's not that they can't do it. And I've said this before, and then people are like, well, what do we need to do for this? And coming from the military and having a grandfather that was a World War II veteran, if you want to know why the guys from World War II came back and they were called the greatest generation, and we made so many strides and built the company up in such a country up so well in such a short period of time, is you had a group of people that understood making sacrifices for the greater good, sacrifices for the country, some sacrifices that would lead to prosperity down the road, as opposed to let's do it now. I want the money now. Let's do this. And I don't, and fuck it. And the convenience and instant gratification. I came from the military, same thing. And when people say like, well, where's it even? Well, those companies need to start looking at, if we want to bring industry back, we're going to have to make some sacrifices. But the second everybody's like, well, that's not the answer. What do you want me to take a pay cut? Just not. Yes.
Yeah.
I made sacrifices when I was in the military, a lot of them. And that's where a lot of veterans get really upset when they see what's going on with industry today. And they're like, because 99% of those guys would be willing to take jobs in those fields and sacrifice and be like, look, to get us back to where we need to be competitive, where I'm actually I will take a sacrifice.
And not get paid as much, whatever it takes to help put,
My dad worked 2 freaking jobs. My mom worked 2 jobs to put herself through college. Yeah. My dad worked 2 jobs. He was a process server and he was a mechanic. And there were times that he was a process server, a mechanic, and a tow truck driver. Yeah. So he would go reclaim stuff, do process serving and deliver warrants, and he still worked at a garage.
That's my mom. Yeah, my mom was the same way, like 2-3 jobs most of my childhood. My dad, he was a smart dude and he got into accounting and he was
Casper, we're not talking about that. Don't even, Casper, you need to not even put that in there. Don't even put those initials in there. I can't. You will get this. Those 3 initials will get this demonetized and taken off the stream. Don't do it again or I'll block you permanently. I'm sorry. I know you're a paying member, don't put those initials in any of my live feeds ever again. It's not a joke. They actually will. I don't. I'm not playing. So, but at any rate, no. I really want. I'm still working on trying to get. I have a knife design that I am working, and I'm going to talk to Anthony Marfione I'm going to talk to Tony at Blade Show.
Yeah,
and see if you can. I don't want him blocked. I was just saying, I want it. I just don't want it in the stream again. If I can get it done, I would love to have that knife be a U.S. produced knife.
Of
but
course,
right now,
keeping
it's just
the money like circulating into the economy is obviously the better way to go. But I mean, I don't know. It's a fine line. It's like if you have the money, if you're able to like save up and you make, if you can do it, that's fine. But then I'm sure there's plenty of people who just want to make a dream come true, like like the Avant with like bearded gear and wanting to go to Riyadh.
Yeah, there's no way he would have been able to do it in the U.S. The costs are just
just like the grind. I just really Koenig is the only like American American company that's really pushing out knives similar to Rayot. It's like what other American made companies are doing grinds and like finishing work.
Yeah.
I don't
know. And that's not even what I was talking about, Nico. It's those initials. You can't put them. You cannot talk about that. Put it in comment section. I mean, they'll let one go every once in a while because I don't think they're watching it that closely. But okay, so Jesus, 1 hour and 26 minutes. What is your favorite finish on a knife for blade overall?
Oh, favorite like user or just to like look
just
at?
Favorite finish. Like I have one and it's
belt satin
maybe mirror stone
wash.
Well, okay, so what's your favorite? Yeah. What's your favorite for aesthetics and what's your favorite for actual use?
Actual use, I mean, a stonewash would be the best way to go, but a mirror stonewash actually holds up pretty well.
It does.
And with scratches and everything. But I love a good belt satin, like a good aggressive belt satin, like
hand rubbed satin or belt satin.
Yeah, that does it for me.
I actually like the burger grinder satin that you get. Off the burger grinder, the stone.
Yeah.
Because it's almost rainbow. When you look at this knife, you can see it's almost like a rainbow.
Does it have that zipper feel with your nail when you like run your finger over it? Kind of like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Not so much on this one.
Like Benchmade.
Okay.
Now I have some knives that are like that, like the original blade for my 940 before I put. Oh, that's not my 940. That's the penis knife.
Well, I just couldn't tell by the way that
it did look.
It had that similar look to it. I don't know. Seriously, I thought that since day one. Do you remember me saying that?
I know.
Oh, when Ray do you remember when Ray got that knife for review and he put it through his pants?
Was that done consciously?
Yeah. Did Elliot or whoever designed it? Did they know that it looks like a giant dick?
He absolutely no. He tells him he's like. He's like, come on. It's the shape that guys are most used to having in their hand. Anyway, why not make it into a knife?
Oh my fucking god!
He's like, you don't think I didn't know what that looked like?
Did we have anything to say about it?
They don't care. Elliot stuff always sells. They actually don't give a crap
what
he says.
Yeah. That's funny.
This is such a good knife.
I love the blade on that knife.
The Minax is so good.
Elliot should do one. He should engrave one. Put all the details in there too.
So I have a guy, and I haven't gotten a chance to talk to him for a long time. He's a longtime subscriber to the channel. I used to talk to him we would call almost daily. Mm-hmm. And so this guy sent me some knives for refinish, and as a joke, we took his knife apart and engraved, carved. With the engraver, engraved a penis inside the scale, and then anodized it, and you could see it showed up like gold inside, where we anodized it, and you had to look. And he's like, so he sent it to him, and I sent him pictures of it. And I was like, you have to take the knife apart to see it. And I was like, there's something in there, and he got it. And he goes, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's a gold dick.
Beautiful. He got the and it was the. It was this knife. It was on the
the buck.
It was on the buck. It was on the inside the scales of the buck. So he has the gold dick buck.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man, I loved those. I love those.
All
those
the
drop knives, Farronforge drop knives.
They were amazing.
Yeah,
that was my first titanium knife.
The dowel was Lindy's first like nice knife after having Gonzo's
and someone stole it while I was working. I had it at work.
I thought I wanted the dowel.
And then
I thought I wanted the dowel until I got the buck. And it's the same. I mean, it's the same cutting profile. It's just a modified back here.
I like the buck.
Dude, legit, we've owned like probably like 20 to 30 of the drop knives. Like we've had like 10 or 11 or 12 cruxes
and
probably.
Falcons.
And
the Falcons and Buck.
See, I didn't. The Falcon was one that didn't really appeal to me, but I think that's because I already had a Fortis, which that's basically like a shrunken Fortis.
Right.
But the reason I like this one better was because it's got a little bit more forward weight. And it feels better in hand than the Dow. I mean, it's not that it's the Dow is definitely a more attractive knife, but the Buck actually just feels better in hand.
I liked the Dow at first, but then the Buck just grew on me, and I love the swedging on that knife. I think it's so sexy. The Thai Ren.
Dude, the Ren sucks.
I don't think I've gotten to see
the blade to handle ratio on the Ren is
don't buy the Ren.
I haven't got to see. I haven't got to see one.
The Ren has like super thick blade stock, super short. It has a fuller and a flipper, but the blade to handle ratio is like kind of.
We had the G10 one.
That was my first Artisan. Was the G10 Ren, and I loved it, but it was like it was a big boy. I don't know. The titanium one might be good.
Maybe
I'm gonna have to pull it. I just looked over on the couch next to me, and we've been talking. I've pulled so much stuff out of my case. It looks like there's a garage sale going on my love seat.
Oh my god! You should see the rest of our room. It's covered in knives.
I found it. It was hiding, but this is the one. This is what I've been carrying all day today. I just did a. Yeah, this is the Deviant.
Cool.
So this one I've been carrying it all day. I pulled it out. I did a first impressions video today. I like this a lot.
Yeah,
and I like the title of the video is the Deviant first impressions, and then it was this reprobate likes the Deviant.
Oh my god!
Surprise! So, okay.
I have to pee.
One knife. You have to pee.
Yeah, I drank like a gallon of water. What do you want from me?
Okay.
So let me show you this. This is a MBK Old Guard from the new run. So we're doing a batch of these right now. So they're going to be dropping pretty soon on MBK's Instagram. We did barking and then ceramic coating on the hardware.
Hang on, Simon. Let me give you full screen so that some people can see it a little bit better.
So barking on the scales, dark blast, and then we did ceramic coated, thumb studs, hardware, and back spacer.
I like that.
Yeah, so there'll be these ones, and then we're also doing some in this cracked ice finish that we do. And then Lyndy did some lightning anno ones as well. And then we did these ones also. And then the small ones, they're just like this, but they've got blasted and tumbled blades also.
Nice. You know what? I'm going to talk to Sanford at the show. If he's starting to do US done manufacturing, maybe I'll talk to him and see if he's interested in the design that I'm trying to get, because I really want it to be an American-made design.
Yeah, I don't think he's looking to bring on any designers at all, actually, at this point. But
I don't care. I'm still going to talk to him.
Go for it. But
what are we talking about?
What? We were talking. He was talking about how bad you smell, and like she always. No, I'm just kidding.
It's because he doesn't like my perfume. I love my perfume. It smells so good.
So so I have a question, so that we can leave time for story time.
Okay.
If you had to pick one knife, now that doesn't mean that you can't, like, it's not like this is the only knife you'll ever have. You can't buy another one. But if you were limited to having one knife, and you still could repurchase it, but that had one knife that was the only knife you could ever have again for the rest of your life, what knife would it be? And you got to remember, that's got to meet all your criteria. That means, I mean, that's like, you can't, I'm not saying you can have a fixed blade and another knife. I'm like, what knife is going to meet all the criteria you're going to need for the rest of your life?
Everything. Oof. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if the Koenig Arius was the only knife I had for the rest of my life.
Really?
I don't know. I can't think. I don't know. That transparent 940 reblade is like his sweet baby.
Yeah, he's still in the honeymoon period with that.
No, he's like, he's gonna be in a honeymoon phase forever. Like that's the only knife he carries.
Well, let me see what else we have.
I mean, of our collection or just of all time.
Oh shit.
Holt Spectre would be cool. I don't know.
Upside down.
I don't know.
Here come the knife case. He's like, let me dump all this stuff. Let me see.
Shit fell upside down.
It did?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, I have one picked out because I already know, like, because I own one and I know what it would be. Mine's always going to be the Mora Companion in
Fixie.
The Mora Companion in carbon steel, because it's not too big. You can use it for almost anything. It's super, super sharp, holds an edge really well. And the fact is, they only cost like $16.
You know, it's another one which is like so lame to say, but like the bug out. It's like if it came down, I fucking that knife is just
Jeremy Russell. You're gonna get put in timeout.
Yeah, that I guess, or the QC drift because it's small. It's lightweight. How about it's rust resilient.
Subvert.
Oh my god.
Is that
a Spyderco? Is that mint ice cream on the Spyderco?
Is that you trying to get put back in a corner?
Actually,
I'm not gonna lie.
All right, final answer. The drift. Yeah, the drift would probably.
It's not that I don't own Spydercos. I do.
The
own
civilian. Is that the civilian?
That's the Matriarch 2.
Oh, okay.
I bought this for my wife. This was supposed to be her self-defense weapon, and she really didn't like.
I'm sure she didn't. It's not the prettiest knife I've ever seen in my life.
No, she just didn't like the idea of carrying it. And she was like, it feels dangerous to me. And I was like, that's the point.
That's how my mom is about knives. Oh my god. My mom, she's so weird. Every time she knows I have a knife, she's like, why don't you just leave that in the car? Like, why do you need to bring that? And she totally sees it as a weapon, no matter how many times I tell her it's not. But
it's a tool. I actually... Tool. I have, you guys can ask my daughter this if you ever get to meet her. I have actually snuck into Knott's Berry Farms and Disneyland. I was in Disneyland and I had 3 Ferrum Forges on me.
How?
Like 3 whole knives. I used to.
You keys to them or what?
No, it's really easy. It's because I did physical security for the Department of Defense. And so I would train people on how to run those entry control points. And so I know the tricks to get in, and I know the little, like, keep them distracted. And you put it in places that typically inside a sunglasses case, behind your belt buckle, way down in your shoe, because if you put it way down in your shoe, like if you're wearing boots, you put it way down in.
Yeah.
Boots have steel shanks, and those wands don't work. They always go off close to the ground.
Right.
Like when you get close to the ground, that wand is
yeah, it does. Yeah,
and I've done it so many places, county fair, and I'll be somewhere like go to the county fair and I'll just pull a knife out. I'm cutting something. My daughter's like, you're not supposed to have that. And I'm like, yeah, you're not supposed to make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, just don't say it. We're going to USN. It's going to be like our first show, and like we can't bring any knives.
You what?
Because we're going to be flying.
Yeah, we're flying.
Yes, you can. No. See, that's a misconception. I went to Portland. I went to Portland and I carried that entire case of knives. You put a lock on your knife case and you check it with your luggage.
Really? Oh, well, I'm not getting a checked bag because we're only going for a couple days.
I don't even really care, honestly, to bring knives. It's like, whatever.
I know, but it's going to feel so weird going to a knife show with no cool knives to flash at people and be like, look at me.
That's all good.
You know?
I do believe I need to end this live feed because I don't know if I can stand to listen to that again. No, I'm just kidding. So I have a story that I want to hear. So what I've done is, because there's 2 of you, I've left us enough time that we can tell stories. But I wanted before we go, before we get into it, I wanted to tell you guys a story about the fact I'm raising a total monster.
I want to hear that story.
So Nico knows this. I'm terrified of spiders. I don't know why. I always have been. Like when I was downrange, the guys came into the tent one time. We're armed up. We're in a campsite, and they're like, "Hey, guns! Look what we got!" And it's a shoebox. I'm like, "If there's a camel spider in there, I'm going to shoot you." And one of the guys is like, he's not joking. I was like, if you open that box and there's a camel spider in it, I'm going to shoot the camel spider, and then I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah,
and they were like,
fair. That's completely fair.
They were okay. So I'm terrified of spiders. Always have been. I just, it's something I can't get over. So there's a lot of spiders in this house. They're not like big, nasty spiders and things like that. But there are a lot of spiders and you see them. And I just, don't, as long as you stay where you're away from me, we're good. And so the one night I had done something and I was picking on her and she looked at me and says, yeah. She's like, hey, when you take your seat, because I sleep with a CPAP mask, I have sleep apnea. I have centralized apnea. My brain just doesn't send the signal. I have to wear basically a respirator at night so I don't die. Of all the things I'm bad at breathing.
Yeah.
She looked at me and she goes, hey, when you get up in the morning, you just lay your CPAP mask down on the floor. And I'm like, yeah. She goes, a lot of spiders in this house. Check your mask every night. And I was like, huh? And she's like, think about it. And walked away. And so I'm getting ready for bed because I had to get up early the next day. It's like 9:30. She goes to bed at 9:30. She looks at me. She goes, check your mask. And I was like, oh yeah, the mask. She's like, probably should check the whole hose. They might get up in the hose. She's like, sleep tight. And I'm like, oh my God. She's a monster.
That's so funny. What a smart girl. That's hilarious.
Sleep tight.
Oh my God. I would just burn it with fire and buy a new one.
I absolutely check my CPAP mask. I take the hose off and I'm like looking down the transparent
every
hose.
Night?
Like,
you check every night?
Every night. Yeah.
You don't put it on the floor, right? I would put that
because
mask
like, and so this was weeks ago. And now, so every once in a while I'll get like a hair down in my mask and the wind will blow it. I feel it on my face. And I'm just like panic. I'm like, oh my God, there's a spider in my mask.
That's so funny. I remember when I was little, my mom told me something like one time when I was little that spiders can come. Like one time when she was little, there was a spider up under the lip of like the toilet seat, like underneath, and it came up and it like crawled on her butt or something. And I was, yeah, I know. I literally for like 2 years I had to look.
I don't want to hear any of that.
Yeah, I was traumatized. I was fucking traumatized.
Yeah, man,
I squatted over the toilet for the longest time. I didn't sit on it because I'm so
fine
scared.
with spiders, but I can't fuck with snakes.
Yeah.
See, I don't mind snakes. I'm not scared of snakes. I have a healthy respect for snakes. I'm not scared of them.
Yeah, I mean, I've never come like close to one. I mean, they don't bother me on computer screens, but I've never had one.
I say that my mother is terrified of snakes, and my sister likes to tell a story. I picked up a copperhead, which is a poisonous snake that we have in Ohio. Yeah. And I put it in a cooler and I brought it home and my mother opened the cooler and she's like, and it was alive. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot there's a snake in the cooler. She's like,
oh my
God, what's wrong with you?
That's so funny.
My dad was like, I had to talk her off the ledge. There was a minute there. I was pretty sure she was going to shoot you.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't unwarranted.
Okay. So Lyndy's story is going to be last because I have a specific story that I want to hear. Richie, I want to hear a funny story about some weird, messed up something that has happened to you. Just pick something humorous and funny.
My life's pretty boring, dude.
What? There's that. Well, speaking of snakes,
maybe we should let Lyndy go first, and then you can kind of have time to think about it.
Some weird fucked up shit. I mean, I could just tell you my whole childhood.
No, I have a story that you have to tell. I already have one picked out because I already.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Because I already had some. I want to hear the story about the time you fought a pregnant chick.
Oh, how did you find that out? Oh my God, were you in the fucking chat? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was in the chat that night.
Buckle up, buddy. All right, so
buckle up, Buttercup.
Yeah,
here fucking comes.
Goddamn, this.
There's
bitch.
another F-bomb.
This is like an extensive story. So let's start at the beginning. I guess we'll start at the beginning. So there was, I was dating this guy. We were together for like 3 years, and during that last year of the relationship, it went shitty, and he ended up cheating on me with this girl. Well, this girl and I ended up contacting each other, and she wanted to come to meet me and stuff, and we were like, yeah, boys suck, and we were like, yeah, whatever. And so, I don't know, I was on a drinking rampage at the time. I was an alcoholic, and so I kind of like burned all the bridges, and it came down to this girl. I was living with this girl, and this girl was 5 months pregnant.
You're all I got left. I have to live with you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And so she was 5 months pregnant, and like she was an alcoholic too. We were just two peas in a pod at that point, but I didn't know how much she still harbored resentments because that ex-boyfriend, he still like loved me and he didn't want anything to do with her, and so she hated me for it. I didn't know. She never told me any of this. She was all nice and fine to my face, but anytime she drank, she lost her fucking mind, and so she would just start wailing on me. I didn't even do anything.
Why was she drinking anyway? She was pregnant.
She was like, I'm gonna get it aborted, blah blah blah. She didn't. She ended up keeping the baby, and everything was fine. But that's in her mind. I don't know. She was an alcoholic. Like, she was just whatever. The baby wasn't. I don't know. She was fucked up. She's a fucked up person. And so she started like wailing on me, and I would like pin her down every time she tried to hit me. I didn't want to hit a pregnant woman, so I was like holding her down, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna let you go, because I was bigger. She's short. She's like 5 foot, 5'1". I'm 5'5", 5'6", and I was a little heavier at the time. And I would just hold her down. She was fine. I just football tackled her the first time, because she came at me, and it was the only way I can get her on the ground was just, taking her down. So I was holding her down, and then every time I let her go, she would start swinging at my face, and she'd be like, yeah, I'm good. And then she'd start punching me again. So finally, I was just like, well, I'm gonna have to knock this bitch out so she'd stop. And then so I'm wailing on her face and stuff, and eventually she ends up stopping. Well, actually, the roommate of the house comes in and like breaks it up, and so then he ends up calling the cops on us. This was like the second time, and it was just, it's a whole thing. But anyways, I beat her ass, but she started it, and it happened twice, and I ended up moving out, and that was the end of that. It lasted like 2 months, but
we're gonna have to definitely do that whole ancestry thing, because I'm pretty sure we're related somehow, because that sounds exactly like a story one of my cousins would tell.
Yeah, like, she just fucking, man. I mean, and I was drinking, like, I wasn't like shit faced, but I mean, I was also an alcoholic, so it's like, I don't know how drunk I was.
Nico's like, this is the worst story. Well, I apologize. It is the Beer and Blades podcast. I apologize. This is a Beer and Blades podcast.
I mean, if a pregnant chick who's drunk as shit will not stop punching you in the face, and you tried everything you knew how to do. I pinned her down. I asked her to stop. She wouldn't stop. And after like 5-10 minutes, I was getting tired. So I was drunk too. What do you want from me?
Sinister says, the baby come out knowing self-defense. So Monster was like, the baby come out knowing self-defense, and it's just like, and already has a bar tab.
That's so funny. Thank God the baby was okay. She was 5 months pregnant when she was pregnant. She was 5 months pregnant. And I remember going in with her to like the ultrasound thing, because she was debating, what she was going to do with it, because she couldn't stop drinking and blah, 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 blah.
So she drank through the whole pregnancy?
Oh, through most of it, yeah. The baby was fine. There was no, drunk baby situation going on, but.
That's what they say until they come out later, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of the reasons that my mom smoked and drank the entire time she was pregnant.
Just wait till they hit 30. That's when the real problems come out.
Then you wind up with this. This is what you wind up with. Almost 50 years old, and this is what I do with my life.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine.
So
it's
disappointed.
But I'm terrible at telling stories. I'm sure there's more to that. But,
that was good. That was good. Yeah, I guarantee my dad's looking down at me for having gone. I gave you so many opportunities to have this come out right.
What's cool though is like when the cops were called on us, right? And so she was smart enough. She didn't press charges. The cops are all mad because obviously, even though I didn't instigate it, I was the one beating the shit out of a pregnant chick. So, and they had me sit on the curb, and I was stressing out. I was like, well, fuck me. Like, I can't, there's nothing I can do. If she, says that, she's still mad at me, if she says that, yeah, she started it, blah, 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 she just beat me, what could I do? But then she was, put on a stretcher, and they took her to the hospital, even though she was fucking fine. It was just because she was pregnant.
This is good. So we absolutely can't monetize this. It has to go up on Apple Podcasts, and it's going to be in the description. It's going to be, we talked with Lyndy and Richie from Knife Modders, and stick around till the end where Lyndy talks about beating the shit out of a pregnant chick.
Well, oh my God, I have stories. I do. When you're a piece of shit, you have stories.
I grew up in the middle of nowhere. Like, if you've ever watched The Wild, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia,
man,
have you ever watched it?
No, my dad's from West Virginia though.
Yeah, so. Well, that's okay. That explains. Yeah, there you go. See, that makes sense. It's genetic.
My dad is was the biggest square. I mean, I don't know. He wasn't my real dad. He was my stepdad. My real dad. I'm sure that's where I get this from, because my mom doesn't. Yeah. Anyways.
If you watch that movie, that's I tell people, I was like, you want to understand why I act and am the way I am? It's not the military that did it. Go watch The Wild, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
To see where the fuck I come from.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I swear to God, it's like going to a family reunion without the plane fare. It's just really.
Oh my God.
I mean, I've got cousins. I have a cousin that I had to, he got in so much trouble. I had to drive to Cook County, Illinois, right outside of Chicago. I was home. I had to drive, and there's a naval base up there. So if I had gotten stationed there. So anyway, he got in so much trouble in Cook County, Illinois, that I got asked, because I was the only, 2 reasons. I was the only member of the family. I was active duty military. I was the only one that had a vehicle that would make the trip from Southeast Ohio to Chicago area.
Right.
And 2, I was the only one that had enough money to actually bail him out. So I drive up there. He was working. God. He's working construction up there. I drive all the way to Cook County, Illinois. I get this guy bailed out. His mom promised to pay me back. She never fucking did.
Of course.
And so I get there, and I'm talking with the booking sergeant, the desk sergeant, and I'm like, "So yeah, hey man, long drive. I had to come pick this idiot up." And he goes, "You need to sit down and shut the fuck up." And I'm like,
"Oh shit.
Oh wow. Okay." So I sit down. And so the guy in the back comes out with my cousin, and he's all apparently he got drunk, got in a fight, did something horrible. And he's kind of beat up, and they bring him out and they uncuff him and they turn him over to me. He goes, he never comes back to Cook County, Illinois.
You're like, okay.
And because you're with him, you don't either. And I'm like, the fuck? All I did,
what the fuck happened?
I didn't do anything. I drove like 9 hours to come pick up shitbird. And now I'm the one that's getting punished. And they're like,
okay.
And I'm like, all right, whatever. So when I came back and went to school in Chicago, no joke, I drove around Cook County, Illinois. I added an extra hour to my trip just to not, because I was like, I don't know if they're going to remember that shit or not.
Yeah, well, as long as it didn't take.
You really think they pull some bullshit like that?
I don't know. Someone keeps saying, "Lyndy, say it, please."
Oh, the fucking! I said
me.
It was
Lyndy,
during
please.
I said it in the chat. Okay, it was well, I said it was because she was pregnant, right? So I said it was 2-1, and I beat the odds. That was the joke that I made about it. It's because it was 2-1. I beat the odds. I punched the baby and the mom.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. South Chicago has the strongest firearms county, highest crime rate. Yes, they do.
It's such a weird phenomenon.
It's almost like the criminals don't pay attention to the fucking law.
Weird. Fucking weird. Yeah, criminals don't.
There is no way this is
monetized.
We've hit everything that YouTube hates about my channel at this point. We've talked about all that stuff. I don't know. Yeah. I've had ones we talked about the whole Paulo Blazano thing the other night with Adam Chavez, and that one didn't get demonetized.
I mean, you could try to monetize it.
I already have it set. It's preset. It's preset. Yeah. It might go for a few days before they're like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. But the thing that I find
if I didn't drop so many fucking F-bombs in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah. Who wants to pay for all her F-bombs? Somebody was earlier. Who was it?
Yeah. I don't know.
Pop them up. At any rate. What was I talking about?
Your cousin? Shitbag?
Yeah, my cousin. Yeah, all that stuff. I have cousins that it literally, I grew up, no joke, we didn't have indoor plumbing until I was 14 because the house burnt down. We didn't have enough insurance to pay for it. There were still outhouses. We had outhouses on the farm. I grew up on a farm. People were like we had at the time it was 400. And Steve, I already talked about it. You'll have to rewind it. I'm going to go through it again. We had no, I didn't put Shane in timeout. At any rate, so we had 400-acre farm, and people I had to go out and check fence, and it was people were like, oh, did you use the 4-wheeler? I was like, 4-wheeler? Oh, you were one of them rich farm kids. I had a horse, and it would take me 2 days.
A horse and a wheelbarrow.
It'd take me 2, sometimes 3 days to go out and check all the fence on that farm.
Oh yeah,
and that's sleeping out. That's sleeping out under a tree and shit like that.
Oh,
till what age did you live out on a farm?
Until I joined the Navy when I was 17, 18 years old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have dipped out of there as fast as I could.
Well, I liked it, but there was just the whole thing was I got into some serious trouble when I was graduating high school. About the time I graduated and wound up, I was doing weekends in the county jail while I was in high school.
Yeah, man, I didn't start my shenanigans. Sorry, there's a fingerprint or something. I didn't start my shenanigans until a good couple years after high school. When I hit 19, 18,
Evil shenanigans.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was a.
Oh yeah. So hey, I got a good story.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
I'm ready for this.
Right. So.
What story is this?
The car. Getting
oh yeah. Okay. Oh wait, I don't know. Actually,
the Integra.
I timed it perfect. I'm on my third beer.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I'm in for a treat too. I don't know.
So this was like around when me and Lyndy first met.
This story. Okay, yeah, we might as well just come clean about everything. Let's
all
go.
right. Well, so we were
so much.
We were like living in our car at the time. So we were in Marina and we pulled behind like the smoke shop area. And
it's like a small little parking lot, and in the back of the businesses, there was also like a parking lot for employees.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. We had that.
So we pulled them back there, and then I think I was going to go in and buy cigarettes or something. And then we both ended up falling asleep in the car.
You're exhausted.
And then we wake up to the cops knocking on it. So they would pull us out of the car or whatever. Someone called in like a welfare check or something.
Because we were knocked.
Pull us out of the car.
And all of our shit was in the car, so it looked sketchy as shit.
Find a bunch of drugs in the car.
Looked like tweakers.
So,
like your typical
actually, they found it in my pockets. Okay.
Yeah.
It was his. Okay.
What was it? What did they find? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Drugs. They found drugs.
So I also had a katana like type deal in the back of my trunk. And I was like,
asking if you have anything, like any weapons.
Yeah, I was like,
car.
Yeah, there's like a katana in the back. I was trying to downplay it, like, oh, it's just a replica, though. It's just a replica. It's not, it's not really a katana. It was like some.
No, but it was like, yeah,
it was like a full-size
katana.
Cheapy katana. But so they never ended up finding that.
Which is funny because it was like right there.
They
how do you not find a sword? Like I
didn't find a sword. I mean, no, mind you, that car, the back seat was packed with all of our belongings.
But so since we were in Marina, they knew who I was. They knew who my dad was. So they took us down to the station. They charged us and then they let us go. And also, it was cool. They let us lock the car, and they weren't going to tow it.
Yeah,
so they're like,
cool.
Yeah, we'll just. They let us go at the station. They charged us, and then we started walking back to the car.
Like,
we got back to the car, and the car was.
Hang on a second. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about, Nico. I'm kind of watching it, and I'm not seeing anything.
Political?
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Never mind. Anyway, all right. So you're walking back to the car.
So we're walking back to the car. It's maybe like, I don't know, mile and a half or something. So we get there, and the car's gone. So I'm thinking like, well, shit, they must have just fucking fucked us and towed it.
Yeah, that's what we thought happened.
So we ended up calling my dad, getting a ride with him. We called the police station. They were like, no, we didn't tow it. So it ended up getting stolen within the
45 minutes total.
Yeah.
I mean, not even that. Like we weren't even at the station for that long, and the station was like down the street.
Yeah,
from where
it was like maybe a mile and a half.
And we walked all the way back. So within that time, like it couldn't have been.
So some asshole must have just been sitting there, like seeing us get arrested. We did lock the car, it had an alarm and everything, but it was a Acura Integra, so it's like it's not hard to fucking get a key for that and start it up.
Like you peel the plastic away at the window and go.
I don't know how many times I had to break into that car. Like I had a problem. Like leaving my keys in there
with the engine on.
I'd leave the engine on, and my keys would be in there, and the car would be locked.
Oh my god! It got to the point where he kept his shim up and under the fucking car.
I had a Toyota when I was stationed in Japan. I had a Toyota, and I had a BMW before, and I had a BMW M3, super nice car, and then I got a Toyota. It was a small little hatchback, but it was like super fast. It was it was huge engine, small little hatch. And I had the same thing because at BMW, you can't lock the door without the key, like the driver's side door. You have to lock it with the key.
Right.
To keep you from locking your keys in the car. When I got that Toyota, I locked my keys in the car all the time. And I bought a Slim Jim.
Yeah,
and ordered it and taped it. I taped it up under with that green 100-mile-an-hour riggers tape up under the frame. And I can't tell you how much. So like people would watch me like, they're like, dude, if you ever lock your keys in your car, one thing, Mike was a juvenile delinquent, and two, Mike has a Slim Jim, and I guarantee he can get in your car. And my buddy was like, hey, bro, I locked my keys in my car, and I showed up with my girlfriend at the time. DaCosta standing there talking with this girl that was my girlfriend at the time. We show up, she's super hot. DaCosta starts talking to her. Like I walk over and I pop it, and I came back and I gave him his keys. It was like he was like he hadn't even he was still on the walk up. He was started talking to her on his walk up, and I'm handing his keys over his shoulder, and he's like, that fast? And I'm like, yeah, I don't mess around. He's like,
you're like, I've done this.
He's like, literally, dude. He's like, it hasn't even been a minute. He's like, it's been like 15 seconds. He's like, I didn't even get to your car to talk to your girlfriend. I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, I'm good at this. And he goes,
yeah,
I don't trust you anymore.
That's so funny.
So yeah, they did end up finding the car months later. It was like,
hang on a second. If you're listening on Twitch, you're about to lose the stream. They only allow me to do 2 hours. If you're listening on Twitch, you need to come over and finish out on YouTube because I'm not going to end it. We'll end it when we feel like ending it.
Yes.
So they did end up finding the car. It was in Salinas, which is like, there's a lot of gang stuff that goes on. Well, for this area,
Salinas more inland from the coast where we're at.
Yeah, that's so they ended up finding it there at a hospital. And it had it was weird. It had a bunch of baby diapers in it, and this guy's paperwork. Like this dude was living in my car. He just swooped on our house.
Bro, you stole my house.
Baby to take care of.
Stole my fucking house, dude. Bro.
I know. He stole our house so he could live in it. The fuck, and he threw all of our shit out. I don't even know.
And I don't understand how. So he had a baby with him. So while he was watching, getting ready to steal my car, did he have his baby with him?
I don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Hold on. Our shop cat's here.
Oh, your shop? I haven't seen my shop cat, but he's technically not our cat. He just he probably is in the cat. He likes my wife, and my wife will let him in that door. Yeah, he looks like my shop cat.
Yeah,
I know he does.
He looks identical.
Only my shop cat is massive.
Yeah, he's huge. He's fucking huge.
That cat is huge.
I don't know why he's so. I mean, he's healthy. He's not overweight or anything. He's just massive.
I'm curious. Who the fuck is Duke? I keep seeing people refer to Duke. I don't see anyone here named Duke. Is someone here that I don't know who Duke is?
No idea.
I have no idea.
Who is Duke? Everybody keeps saying take care of Duke.
Duke's a passive?
I don't know. I don't know.
Who's Duke?
Who's Duke? Duke must be a joke. I don't know. At this point, it's an inside joke.
Duke doesn't even exist. No.
I had something I was going to show, and now I don't know. There's just too much stuff. It's like it looks like a knife table at a show over here after the greasy neckbeard stinky fucks have moved everything around, fingerprinted.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one of my favorite things to do at knife shows, and Nico has seen me do this, is knife makers that I'm not a big fan of because I'll see how they treat customers at shows and stuff. And they'll do the really fairly polished blades. Before I walk up, I'll do this on my nose and then just fingerprint the shit out of their polished fucking blades. Oh man, this thing's cool. And then just fingerprint all over the polished titanium and scales and stuff. And then walk away. And I'm like,
God, make them have to clean that shit.
Oh yeah, because then I walk away. Oh yeah, it's great. You see them walking away. They got the wipey towel. Dirty motherfucker. What's on this?
That's so funny.
What does he eat? Was he eating burritos? Was he eating hot dogs without a bun? What the fuck's all over his hands?
Chips. Ew. Definitely not boogers.
That is the knife show equivalent of a stink palm from Mallrats.
Oh my god!
So this has been fun. We can stick around if you guys want to. We can
I'm chilling.
I
have to go in a little bit, but I'm chilling right now.
I mean, this is
we probably have to go in a little bit.
We'll probably end it around a little after 10 or so. Is that cool?
What time is it?
9:30.
Yeah, we can do that. We can stick around for an extra half hour. So, all right. So, anybody, you guys got? Oh, Sinister Knife Clips is Duke. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't know it was your name, Sinister. Hey, Sinister.
I didn't either.
What's up?
So, let's see. Has anybody got any questions for me or Lyndy or Richie?
Yeah.
See what comes up here. We'll let you guys ask.
Oh yeah, go pee.
God, what is it with you and the baby bladders?
Dude, you have no idea.
We drink. Oh yeah, he has.
I drank this.
No, I
drank this, and I drank 3 beers.
These are 64 ounces. That's 100 math. I don't know. It's a lot.
I think this is 28 ounce, and then.
Well, I didn't pee before.
And I had 3 beers.
I knew I should have peed before I went on here, and I didn't because I was already late. I had to feed my cat.
Should have peed before we left.
Dude. I am cursed. If I know I'm leaving somewhere, I absolutely have to be I won't even have to pee. I don't even have to go, but I know that I'm leaving, so I have to fucking pee. It is the worst thing ever. It'll only be a trickle, but it's I have to go. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going to piss my pants.
I felt like I had to pee when we first started, and I was like, oh, But maybe it's just because I'm old, but I didn't have to pee.
That was fast. Loki. He's sitting here begging for treats. I keep the treats up in the dresser in like the top drawer, and he sits there and he just stares at the drawer, waiting for treats to come out, even though I have them right here.
There you go. Yes. Weirdest place you've ever peed.
Weird. Oh, dude, you don't even want to know. I pee. I don't think we even want to get into that. Anywhere. Like that's my fucking party trick. I will pee anywhere. Like back when I was I piss on side of building. I mean, I no shame. If you
I have a story for that when you're done.
Yeah,
I have a story for that.
Dude, I have stories. I was a drunk. Let me tell you. I didn't give a fuck about anyone or anything except for if I had alcohol in the morning to last me until I could buy another bottle.
I had a mother that was a hardcore alcoholic, had to go to treatment, and I got you.
Yeah, he's okay.
We had a chick that came to a party. So in Japan, a lot of houses have actual urinals. We had a house.
Yeah.
And we would have crazy ass parties at our house. Like half the ship and show. There'd be like 200 people at our house.
Yeah.
We had a full floor model urinal, like from the floor clear up like this high.
What the hell?
And it was a full urinal. A lot of Japanese houses have urinals.
What? That's so
and
weird.
So we're there and we're having this party. And this chick was like, all the bathrooms are full. I'm going to use your urinal. I was like, yeah, right. Like yeah, like you're gonna be able to do it. She was like, no, I can use your urinal.
Yeah, I can
piss in that urinal. She's like, I can stand up, piss in that. It's like, I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, literally.
And she's like, okay. And literally, because like these are Navy chicks, right? This chick was pretty cute. And me and my roommate were like, I was like, give me $10, bro. And he's like, what? I was like, she's gonna go pee in the urinal. She said I could watch. And he goes, here's 20. I'm coming.
That's so funny.
Let me close the door, and then we were like. She's like, it's like literally like, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like,
women can pee standing up. It's a miracle.
It wasn't just that. It was the fact she was letting us watch. And then we're looking at each other. I was like, you get to stay over. You don't even have to clean in the morning.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't have to make me breakfast. It's fine.
We were horrible. We were the worst kind of people.
Well, dude, I would pay to see that. I understand. It makes sense.
Well, it's not just that. Like, people are like, why are military guys so weird and so fucked? Because the fact is, you don't know if you're coming home. You're just gonna live as much as you can.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. You spend cooped up long enough with a bunch of boys, with a bunch of friends. You just like at that point, it's like you can be your weird self. Like, what does it matter?
You spend 4 months on a ship with only guys. It does something weird to your brain.
Well, I mean, it's like you're like in a long-term relationship with all of these people.
It's like family. You know? It turns into like a big roommates. Family.
Yeah, 100%. That makes sense. Favorite MBK between you two are, well, my favorite is the original OG.
Yeah.
The very first OG they did. I think that's the best knife. Besides, actually, the inset liner lock slayback they just did in ZDP 189.
I gotta say the original old guard before the plunge was changed.
I love that. Oh wait, where's the? Oh, it's right here.
Yeah.
This one.
I love a good swayback. That's why I like.
I love the design. I think
that Enrique Pena swayback that he does. Oh, it's sweet. I love that knife.
I don't know what's going on here.
I'm hoping Enrique is going to be at the show.
This plunge right here on this. Oh God!
So here's the new plunge. The one on top is
it's so fun watching people with the mirroring. Like,
so
I don't know how to work it.
I know. I can't see because his hands are in the way.
Okay, here you go, and then I'll do
Jesus Christ! Can you see? I don't even know what's going on. Can you guys see this? I have no fucking clue.
Hey, just stop moving it.
I'm not moving. I'm just shaky. Okay. Anyways, point.
This was the newer one.
Okay, I like that way better. It's going to be so much easier to sharpen.
What, the new one or the old one?
Yeah, the new one.
That's what a lot of people say. But like the older one, it's like you can just fucking add a choil. Like however long. I know there is a little one there. It doesn't go all the way back.
Here we go. I'm sorry. My fault.
Can you see that?
Yeah,
so there is a little choil there.
It needs
but
to be
bigger. You could always just, you go, I don't know. I mean, most people probably don't want to do that, but the plunge on this, I love it. It just makes it look more unique rather than like every other fall off plunge on the planet.
Jigsaw, I already did. Yeah. I don't know what my daughter's doing up there.
Yeah, but
my daughter's bedroom is directly above me in my garage.
And just the action on these and just something about these, I just think it was just so good. And like all the detents are on point. I like stronger detents, so I just feel like, I don't know. This is my favorite. And I definitely want one of those new slaybacks. The inset liner lock ones those are awesome.
Also the XLC was
Ask Isabel
yeah,
Emler,
the XLC
what the
was
fuck are
really
you
cool.
doing?
There's a lot of good ones. It just kind of comes down to like preference, opening method.
That's how I parent. I parent via text. I just texted my daughter, what the fuck are you doing?
Where is
Well, that sounds like you guys have a good relationship if you can do that. No, my dad, oh man. I'd be like, what the fuck? If my dad texted me that, I'd be shitting my pants. If he's like, what the fuck are you doing?
My dad, if you ever watch, I think my wife, actually, I know what's going on. My wife is running the, my wife is running the vacuum cleaner upstairs. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, okay.
My dad was a real interesting dude. Like
yeah.
There was stuff that my dad would, and if you ever watched that 70s show, I
loved that 70s show.
Okay, so Red, someone that wrote that show knew my father.
Yeah, that was your dad.
Because that's Red. Like my father was Red.
Yeah, my dad was similar in that way too.
My dad one time literally looked at me and said, I was like, what's up? And he goes, I'm thinking about turning your ass into my foot studio. And I was like,
oh my God, your foot
years
studio?
Years later, I hear that exact line come out of Red Foreman on that 70s show. I was like, that's my dad.
Someone met your dad.
That's my dad.
Had to have met your dad. Yeah. My dad was a character too in his own way. He was fucking, oh my God.
So if you guys haven't seen this is the new ZDP 189 slayback.
It's laminated.
Yeah, San Mai. Let's see.
Ooh, you can't say San Mai. Oh, actually, no, you can't because Cold Steel. Lynn's gone. Lynn doesn't own that company anymore.
That's so weird. You fucking can't.
I don't know. So I was like, how do you even do that? Because San Mai's been around.
It's because it's been around forever. You can't just decide.
Laminate them.
Yeah, whatever. But
okay, so I have to respond to something here. I honestly don't know what happened. I don't care if you guys curse in the comment section at this point. I just don't want any political stuff. I don't want any stuff about the Chinese political parties. I don't want any of the stuff that's going to get this channel taken down and things like that because they will do it. So
yeah, they will.
I don't care if you curse in the comment section. It's not near as big a deal as it is when we do it, but we've already done it so much that I think we're at the point where I don't think there's any chance that this is going to be monetized.
Oh my God, I really do want to start getting back. Oh, did you see that new video from Cedric Aneda? He called us out to respond. He tagged us in a video to do 5 knives that make us happy or something. 5 pieces of gear that make us happy.
Oh, that's funny. My video that goes up Friday is actually going to be and it's kind of a tongue twister. So I did a 5 fast knife reviews like Jared does because he says it's good content. People seem to like it. The last one did pretty well. So I did 5 fast favorites. So I did 5 knives. I did 5 knives fast, 5 fast favorites. I picked 5 of my favorite. I picked 5 of my favorite knives, including my from top to bottom. And so I did a bunch of knives that are just my favorites. And I did 5 of them. So that's what goes up on Friday. The video that I recorded today actually goes up tomorrow because I wanted to save the 5 knives for Friday.
Right, right. Oh, that makes sense.
I have to apologize to all the paying members. To everybody. I had a bunch of videos that were going to go up this week and into next week. I had 4 or 5 videos that I filmed. I started to do the edit and I wasn't happy with a lot of elements of it. I just, if you're not in a real great mood or if you're tired and things it comes through in the video. And so I started to edit the videos and I'm like, I don't like anything about any of these videos.
You could do it better,
Right.
Yeah.
And so they may get revisited, but the fact too was I like to look at content on this channel and say is this going to be stuff that I would want to watch? And if it's not, I'm not going to do it. And so I basically scrapped probably 10 or 11 hours worth of work and just I'm just not even doing any. And to save myself, maybe I can, I was like, maybe cause that thought's going to be in my head. Well, I have all these files on my phone or I have them on the hard drive and things like that. Maybe I can salvage them and I can put up some content just to force content. I was like, nope, to save myself any of that temptation, I deleted all of it. It's all gone. So
quality
those videos
over
no longer
quantity.
exist.
Exactly. Hey Mike, so what did you pay or what does it cost for that nano ceramic coating setup?
So, I mean, if you already have an Ano power supply, you can use that. So
cool.
You're already saved that. What you're going to need is you're going to need the actual liquid, and you're going to need a tank. And the fact is you cannot, here's the flip side of this. Like you have to submerge the thing all the way into the liquid. So you're going to want something that's small enough you can put the liquid in. And then I use heat treat foil as the, I guess that would be the cathode. Anode cathode.
Okay,
that's in the liquid, and then
right. Yeah, we use aluminum foil for our anodizing.
You're not going to want to use that.
Yeah,
you're going to want to use steel foil or a piece of steel or something, because the aluminum will actually start to go with the coating, and you get like speckles.
Flecks of it? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Casper, you're free. Then the flip side of that is then also you have to have the liquid, and that's going to be like, if you already have power supply, you're golden. The shit is like $60 a bottle.
Yeah.
How big are the bottles?
They're not all that big. Like it's it's like if you're using a container that's big enough to do like your average folding blade, it's going to use like a good chunk of the liquid. Plus, you have to think that you're going to need some way to cap it. You're going to want to put it back in the bottle because it evaporates. Yeah, and then they have recommended shelf life. Like you should be using that stuff within a matter of like a couple months after you open it, because once it's exposed to air and it starts to evaporate, and you get some chemical reactions in the fluid, and then you got to figure like you're adding liquid to it, so you have to mix it, you have to strain it, you got to make sure that you're shaking it up real good.
Or Cerakote. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So I mean, it's expensive. I'm not gonna lie, it's expensive.
That's not too much different than like
well, except the fact that you have to use all the liquid at once.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and so you're going to use, and the thing is, like, you're not going to be able to tell. And so what's going to happen is you'll start using a liquid, and then you'll start to notice like some inconsistencies, and then it's time to. You can get away with adding some fresh, but a lot of times what you like adding some to it and mixing it up real good. But the other thing too is temperature. Temperature does affect it. When it's cold, it doesn't like to work as well as it does when it's hot.
Oh, okay.
Like I was at the shop one night. We had a really cold winter here a couple years ago. I was at the shop one night. It was late. It's like 1-2 o'clock in the morning. Elliot and I were still at the shop on like a Wednesday night. And I was trying to get ceramic to stick to something. He's like, I don't know what's going on, but it was cold. It was like 40, 48, 49 degrees, and the shop was cold. And he's like, you know what? He's like, why don't we heat this stuff up? And so we got a basin of hot water and like soaked it in it for a little bit, and then did it, and it worked really well. Yeah, you guys go. Apparently the like button looks lonely.
But I'll check it out. What site did you buy yours from?
Rio Grande, and it's called Clyar, CLYAR. I can't remember, but it's nano ceramic. It's on Rio
Grande.
Yeah. So yeah, they've got a lot of it, and they've got a lot of colors. Some of the colors aren't as great as others. Some of the colors they discontinued that were really nice.
Okay. Tin World? Is that a thing?
What is it?
I don't know. We can look.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can there. Just.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's Clyar, CLYER, CLYAR.
Okay.
K-Liar. People in the comments are saying they want us to make videos.
I know. I need to start making. Okay, so this is what happened, you guys.
What happened to your channel?
Okay. So I was making videos, I was doing all that, and then I was like, you know what? I watched a bunch of YouTube videos of like Peter McKinnon, and I was getting like so amped up. I'm like, I want to be a videographer. So I dropped like $2,000 on like a camera setup and everything. And then I got it, and I realized like, oh, this is going to take a lot of time for me to understand like what the fuck I'm going to do. Like, I don't know how to use this shit. Like, I'm way better at using my phone. And like, I just haven't taken the time to really like learn how to use it. I mean, I can shoot video on it, and I like,
she hasn't pulled it out in months.
Yeah. That's what happened.
Hang on a second. Someone's like, why is YouTube down?
What?
YouTube's not down.
That's weird because we're on YouTube.
I was gonna say that I'm still, so I don't know why YouTube would be down.
Maybe I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you something.
I want to start. Yeah,
it's so much easier. Like I do my entire channel is done from my phone. Pretty much.
Yeah, that was how I was doing it too, and I was able to get really good edits from that. And I don't know why I felt like my video quality was subpar.
Do you use an
I have
Apple
a Samsung.
phone?
I have an Android.
Okay, so I have an Apple iPhone and I have an Apple iMac.
Yeah.
I film everything in 4K on my phone. and I can airdrop. So like all these things, like Jared's always talking about, like it takes so long to take and put it in, and then the edit. I can literally watch YouTube. I can film a video, be watching a YouTube video, and I'm like, oh, these are the files I want to send, and I hit airdrop, and I can send send 5 gigabytes of video directly to my computer, and then drop it directly into my editing suite. And because it's from my phone, it renders it in 4K.
Your Mac can handle it just fine. Like, what are you shooting in 4K or what?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I shoot in 4K, and it depending on the length of the video.
Right.
I do the video in either, if it's not that long of a video, it's like one of the first impression videos, I'll do the whole thing in 4K. I have to think about the fact that I don't want to have to re-render the video to put it up on full 30, because they have a 5 gigabyte limit. So there's a lot of my 15, 20-minute videos that if they're in 4K, they're like 6 gigabytes, 7 gigabytes.
Yeah, I know.
So I have an external hard drive. I take everything and I drop it into the phone, into the computer. Yeah. And then I drop the files into iMovie. Once they're in iMovie, I can actually delete the source files, edit the video, add in the music, because they're out. So it's saved, like it directly saves it into iMovie. I can delete the source files. Yep. And then then I do the video, and then I drop it into a file on my 2 terabyte hard drive.
Right.
And then I delete the file off of my iMovie, and then I upload it to YouTube from my hard drive.
Oh, that's dope. See, that's a dope setup. I mean, that would be the way to go, but I'm also I guarantee. So like the times that I've done it, like I've done it from an actual camera. Yeah. And then to render it onto the computer, and then to try and do all the stuff, or even to take my phone and put it on the computer. Yeah, because I used to do it on my PC, and like to plug my phone in and then do it on my PC. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It takes so long. Like it adds hours, literally hours. And I'm like, and like the biggest thing for me is that I'm so hard on myself that like when I look at the final edits, it's just like I'm not satisfied with anything. Like I know it could be better, and I just end up like the perfectionist aspect of me. It's like it ends up just not being done because sometimes I can't even look at it. But like the thing is I changed my my YouTube name to match with our Instagram account, Knife Modder, so they would so like rebranding pretty much. And so I started making this really dope video of like it's an introduction to Knife Modders. And like I bought this gimbal, and I did all slow motion and like of us anodizing, and it's like photos or like video like shots of him carbonizing and using CAM-E, and it looks like a trailer. I mean, I did the little drop down bars and everything, but like I just need a couple more pieces of footage, and I was gonna upload it like months ago, but my laptop broke, and I need my laptop to work on Adobe Premiere is what I'm using, and I finally just got it back.
Snuzz says this, and I got news for you. I did it for a long time, and the problem with it is like I did it for a long time, and it was fine with my channel back then, but that was before. The problem with doing it like that, even if you're doing it on your phone, even there's iMovie on your phone and things like that, it looks like you shot and edited
on your phone. That's why
it's so much more professional to do it the right way and do the right transitions.
And like having like a mouse and a full screen
to do your editing, and I wanted to do like color corrections, and I wanted to go like all out, which is what it was. And then it was just, I don't know, because honestly though, I look back on some of the videos that I made with just my phone when I just started making. It was like, honestly, this is more than enough for Knife YouTube, But I was just like, I want to do better, and I don't know. It was kind of, it's kind of a dumb move. Probably should have just stuck with my phone. But so since Cedric and Ada like called us out in a tag video, I'm like super excited to start working on a video, even if it's just simple, just to post a video again. Cause I miss making videos. It was so much fun.
I'll have a period where I'll get a bunch of videos stockpiled, and I'll take a couple days, and I'll like, oh, I miss making videos, and I start making videos. I'm like, I really don't think I miss making videos. I think I missed the idea of making videos.
I'm not making videos, but I enjoy the the product, like being able to like create. So it's an accomplished. I don't know. It feels good to like put it out together, to be creative.
I have to walk a line with it with the YouTube channel, because what I've realized is that since I mean, I've got PTSD. I treat my YouTube channel like therapy, and I've come to realize I don't like the review videos. You guys get 5 videos a week that I don't even like doing.
Right. Yeah.
But I get to do this. I get to do this 3 days a week, where I get to hang out and I get to interact with my subscribers.
Honestly, and as a viewer, both of us as viewers We like live streams.
Dude,
like,
I can't even stand watching reviews
we don't watch
I don't watch them at all. It's
that's because once you're in the night, I tell people that like they're like, oh, I bet you watch this and I bet you watch that. And I was like, I watched Jared's channel.
Yeah.
If I have a question, like if I've got a knife and I'm like, wow, I really am having a hard time getting this knife apart. Let me see what Nick did.
Yeah.
Let me get a hold of Nick. Let me check Nick's video. I'm like, I'll text Nick. And I'm like, cause I text him all the time. I'm like, hey, Nick, did you do a video about this knife? And he goes, yeah. I was like, did you do a disassembly? He goes, of course, of course I did a disassembly. I'm like, all right, I'll go find it.
Good.
Nick,
I know that's what we do too.
Nick was joking about it. He's like, I think you do a better Nick Shabazz than I did.
I know. I mean, that's so fun. His accent, oh my God. It's like sometimes it slowly just fades away and then it comes back again.
But it's really not that over the top.
No, it's not.
Then you have Aaron Frederick, and Aaron Frederick is basically just me with an accent. He talked a lot like
I know.
this. Love that dude. Did you guys see?
What?
There's a good chance. You guys see? Poor Decision Mike. Poor Decision Mike's gear and attire is here. There's a good chance that Poor Decision Mike is going to have his own merch on the store. There's a good chance of it. Some PDM stuff. No, I get where you're coming from. Like I don't watch a lot of other knife content. That's why I scroll through it.
Yeah.
And I see it. So I saw that Cedric and Ada did a 5 knives that what was it? 5 knives that provide happiness or something like that.
Right.
I saw that and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I did kind of the same thing for Friday. Yeah. And I scroll right by it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I wouldn't honestly, I love watching Pete's videos. He's one of like him, Advanced Knife Bro. Like regardless of what it is, if he puts it out, I'm gonna watch it. Because it's just
Advanced Knife Bro is funny. Like he is. He's funny, and then
he puts a lot of work into his videos.
Yeah,
like they're masterpieces. Like that he writes a script, like everything. Like that takes him days.
Don't script a fucking thing.
I can't script. You'll know if I'm reading a script. I cannot. I mean, like I'll drop. Actually, no.
That's the closest you get to a script. So in case you guys were ever wondering, this is the. It's just the specs of a knife because
just to have honestly though, if I don't, I need to start writing down key points because if I don't, I just won't even remember what I'm even talking about. Like it's good to just have at least a little train of thought to keep you going.
Probably once you get more experience.
Yeah, that's true. You get that awkward feeling in front of the camera.
The whole thing is I've been an instructor for a lot of years. I did crew serve weapons instructor. So you can't you can't keep your class engaged if you're reading from they're like, oh God, it's death by PowerPoint. So you have to make it entertaining. You stick to key points. And the fact is, if they see you looking at notes, they immediately are going to be like, this guy doesn't know what he's teaching. Why is he teaching us when he doesn't know? So you have to know what you have to basically have a flow for it. You have to be able to go through the stuff and all that. And it's just, it's something they teach you how to do. And I turned that ability to do that into a YouTube channel and YouTube videos. And so if you watch my videos, there's very little that I'm actually referencing. And a lot of times, even though I have it, there's a good chance I'm not really looking at it. It's just in case I get stuck. Like, wait, what was the weight again?
Right. Or I know. I draw blanks a lot too when I'm thinking. And just I don't know when I'm making videos.
It makes that channel and it makes that experience feel so much more personal. Right.
Because that's the thing though too, is as a viewer, it's what I enjoy is I don't necessarily, it's not really about the content, it's about the content creator. It's how I who I enjoy watching. It's not I'll enjoy whatever they put out if I enjoy the content creator. And for me, since my videos aren't really reviews, they were more I wanted to take the viewers along with me throughout the process of modding. So they would it would just be working on stuff and sometimes I don't know what I should record and what I shouldn't record, if it would even be worth watching. I need to start trying again.
The other thing that I really I say it all the time, I thank John Grimsmo for it. I had a channel previous to this and I never got anything. And John, I had talked to John. We were working on doing a custom Norseman. So this is years ago.
Yeah.
And I said, your channel's so much fun. I was like, and you get so many subscribers. And I was like, I have a channel. And I sent him a couple of videos. He goes, do yourself a favor, turn the camera around, put a face to the channel. Yeah. And people respond to that so much better. I mean, there are channels that
it's a lot more intimate.
that have gotten away with, like Nick has got so many more subscribers and he doesn't show his face.
He's entertainment in and of itself though.
And then Birdshot for a lot of years, Birdshot never showed his face. And now I think they've him and Frankie have really flipped that around, and I think it's really made their channel more.
And it was super intriguing because they were like the first knife couple of YouTube. You know, like
But then you get like that. That's that personal, like when you can see someone, you can see like you can see whether someone's being honest and forthcoming just by looking at their face. Like if somebody is really passionate about something, you can see it and you can feel it and you can hear it. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But if you're just seeing their hands and stuff, you're like, yeah, I'm not sure where this guy really is. Is into what he's saying.
That's what was kind of cool about Bearded Gear too, is that he was one of the few people that wasn't afraid to hold on. What? Anyways, that was our roommate.
He's like, shut the fuck up, I'm going to bed.
He was like, he said they just made weed brownies, and if we wanted to lick the batter.
Oh.
Like, no.
Bro, you want some?
Yeah, he was stoned as fuck.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I know. We don't really
spoon.
Oh, okay.
Lick it.
She's going for it.
Save me some.
Let's
save me some.
Let's make sure we don't say real loud what kind of brownies they are. That's
we're on a live stream.
But
yes, you say yes.
I heard brownies.
Okay, well I will lick this shit. Oh no! He's being droopy.
But yeah, I mean it definitely it's a different experience when you could put a face to it. Like Jim Skelton, like Jim does some live feeds and stuff on his Instagram, but his YouTube channel has been historically like
showcasing
face down, and then you see his big beefy short fingered hands. I love that dude. I send him some.
Yeah, he's so funny.
I send Jim some of the most fucked up shit you'd ever want to experience. Like I'll just be in the middle of the night, like
he fucking loves it. I'm sure.
Like I'll be scrolling through and I'll see something. I'm like, oh, that's horrible.
Jim would love it.
I'm sending that to Jim.
To Jim, yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I can see that.
And I used to scroll through and find some of the worst stuff possible, and I would send it to Elliot because my favorite thing is, because Elliot doesn't sleep either, is to send Elliot something just like something you go, oh God. Yeah. And I send it to, because that's what I want from Elliot. Like my night for a long time, my night really wasn't complete unless I sent something to Elliot and he was like, oh Jesus. Like if I could make Elliot go, oh my God. That's a good one. That's a good one. Then I would send it to other people. Like I threw up in my mouth a little, things like that. Oh, here we go. So what was this? Yep. I was going to say something about this.
Oh yeah. Little Fit Double. She's awesome.
Okay. I have a completely different opinion, but so my opinion is she posted like, I couldn't figure out why I was like upset with things that I'd see her do, because she does. No one goes into the fucking woods in a thong bikini. No one. No one.
Well, that's obviously she doesn't. She's getting it for the views. Ass and knives, like
I'm just like, I mean, fucking sticks and stinging nettles and poison ivy you're gonna wind up with.
Oh my God, right between the butt cheeks.
Right between the butt cheeks. You're gonna wind up with you're gonna wind up with
chiggers. On the coochie is a whole nother ballgame.
You're gonna shut your feed down for like a week because you're gonna sit down on something, and then you got chiggers, and then you got a pimply ass, and no one wants to see that.
And then no one wants to see that. I feel that.
I was like, oh, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, but I mean, she is a smart girl, though. She is. She really is.
Yeah, she was in Air Force. You have to be.
She did a live stream the other day without a bra on, and like on Instagram, she wasn't wearing a bra, and like all the dudes in the comment, they lost their goddamn mind because you could see her nipples through. I mean, you couldn't see them, but they were.
You've been to knife shows. Like, there's a lot of guys at knife shows that like haven't seen a vagina in person.
Yes, mall ninjas.
Like I've seen one. No, I'm not talking about online.
Yeah.
No, I've seen one. No, you haven't. Not in person, not up close, because you wouldn't act like this if you had.
Oh yeah. Oh, thanks, Shane. I saw that.
What was that? Yeah. That's why I brought it up.
Thank you.
It sounds funny as hell, though.
I know. It's so not practical. It's like, who fucking does that?
Not at all. Not at all. Like,
I mean, unless I'm going to the lake or something, even then I don't wear a thong in public. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm just like, I'm also not very fit. So there's that.
I'm adversely opposed to me going out in a thong, and I'm pretty sure my neighbors are too. I'm pretty sure my neighbors are like, no, thank you.
You'd get indecent exposure, like
no, thank you. I've said it a bunch of times. Like guys that are on here, I was like, people are like, I started OnlyFans. So I was like, the only way that would work is if it was a locked feed, and we had to reach a goal, and you were like tied to a chair, and you had to just donate money, and the more money you donated, I'd just come out naked. And the more money you donated, the more clothes I put back on. Like it's reverse stripping.
That's not where I thought that was going. Oh my god, Richie and I always joke like, I wish I could start.
I can't look.
We always joke about wanting to start an
make him put his
OnlyFans.
clothes on.
Oh my god! And I always say like, well, we'll take pictures of his butt and then like pretend like it's my butt because he has like the bubble butt. Like he makes J-Lo look like she's got a flat booty.
It would work.
Yeah, it would totally work. I wished I had his butt.
Richie got the badonkadonk going.
Yeah, you could set a
dude,
cup
it
on
fucking
his
sucks, man. No pants fit me, dude.
Like it's a whole thing. He has to get tailored pants.
I either wear basketball shorts or
like you can only wear shorts
or stretchy like pants.
Jeggings. Like girl pants.
Just wait. The older you get, I've noticed this. It's like the older I get, the further up my back my ass has moved.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, you're going to be a hunchback. You'll be like, I don't even have a pillow anymore.
That's so funny. You're like, I don't need a pillow for my low back. That's so funny.
My ass has just moved up my back.
Oh my god.
So
that's the opposite of what gravity, how it works for women.
I have a problem where
nice.
As I've gotten older, I've noticed that I've lost about all the hair I'm going to lose on top of my head. There's not much going on up there, but now it's growing out of my ears and nose. And it's like there's plenty in there. It just can't find the right way out. And like now it's growing out of my ear. It's like if I don't trim it and then I sneeze.
That like persists. Like it's just, and my grandma has it too. And it is just ugly ass black hair that comes out of my chin. And like I'll catch that fucker and just you know, it's like I have no other hair on my face, but just a black hair.
Dude, I can barely grow any facial hair.
He can't even grow a mustache.
Dude, my stuff is like so spotty.
He's blonde,
it's terrible.
Yeah.
My wife, because she's Asian and has the really dark hair, she gets the
little piece.
No, like it's black and you can see it. So I've like, guys can't. I'm glad my wife does not watch my YouTube channel and
pluck it while she's sleeping.
No, you shave it. You just shave it a little.
No, she does it herself. And like I've come in and I'm like,
like oh, you missed
I'll be in. I'm like, why do we have cartridge razors? Like, why do we have like disposable? Why are there razors in our bathroom? And I never knew why.
Oh my
until
God.
Recently. Until I grew the beard. I'm like, I thought they were mine because I always
kept that secret though.
Yeah, I just threw it right out there on the internet.
Well, yeah, it's fine. I don't think I'll ever meet your wife, so it's fine.
It's not that. There's like 60 people that can watch. There's a lot of viewers on this channel like after that we're gonna watch it tomorrow, and it's on Apple iTunes tonight.
Oh my God, your wife's done. She's done. Her reputation is gone. As long as she doesn't have the whole lower back hair thing going on, I think she's okay.
I'm the one with the lower back hair.
Yeah. Oh, okay. See, there you go. I'd rather have a little bit of a mustache than like black hair on my back. I don't know.
I can attest to this. Nico tried to grow a beard one time, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Like
he has like little like spots on the sides of his face where he just
I was like,
no hair.
Dude, mine's like, probably worse.
I was like, did you eat something sticky and then get lint on your face? What happened?
That's what it looks like.
Hey, you can't even see mine though because it's all blonde.
It's like I'm growing a beard, and I'm like, "Are you really?"
That's so weird. There's like a Tic Tac or something on your face.
And then you see those kids in high school like that are like 14 and they're full blown.
My dad was that way. When he was 15 years old, he had a full blown beard.
Did you see this mustache? That was me.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, it wasn't until just the past couple of years that he's actually like got some.
Hey, dude, I didn't get armpit hair till I was like a sophomore in high school. Like, not even joking.
Now, I used to have a lot more hair, and then when I got diagnosed with autoimmune disorder, they put me on chemotherapy drugs to drop my immune system down, and I lost I didn't have to shave anymore. Like my beard stopped growing, my eyebrows fell out, I lost most of my hair, I lost all my body hair. And I don't know if you've ever seen somebody without eyebrows walking around.
It's terrifying. They look like aliens.
Yeah, but it's like you're like something's wrong, and I can't put my finger on it. Like I don't know what's wrong. There's definitely something wrong.
there's so many chicks that don't have eyebrows, and like I'll watch like makeup YouTube, and like they look great, and then all of a sudden their eyebrows come off, and it's just a weird. I could never shave my eyebrows off. I barely have any as is. I have to draw those bitches on.
So now this is one that my wife doesn't get upset about, but it's funny. Like she gets upset with me. So my wife actually she plucks her eyebrows, so like she doesn't have eyebrows. Like she has a little spot here and here, and she draws them on.
Right, it's pretty normal. I just
And so I honestly, there's a lot of times that we'll go somewhere and I'll notice that she hasn't put them on, and I'm like, it's not my responsibility. And we'll get in the car and we'll be wherever we're going, and we're getting ready to get out of the car. She goes, "Did I put on eyebrows?" I'm like, "Nope." Not at all.
Just give her a Sharpie, man.
I know. She has dark hair. Sharpie would work. She needs to start keeping some eyeliner in the car. That poor woman.
She got so mad at me because this time I had nothing to do with it. She went to work one day, and all of her coworkers look at it, were like, "Yuka, what?" And she called me, and she was mad. She's like, "Did you know that?" I was like, "Babe, I didn't see you before you left for work this morning."
Your fault. Of course, it's your fault.
I got yelled at. I get yelled at for everything. Like,
of course.
I know my place.
So do you, baby. I love you.
Was this? Mike posted a video on Instagram of this toothless lady that used makeup.
Oh yeah, I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah, that blew my mind.
The power of makeup is absolutely mind-blowing.
There was something. She's cool, and it was not like anything. Like she's not like it's not like she's like a meth head or something. She was pregnant, and it was a complication with the pregnancy that
she lost her teeth.
She lost her teeth.
That's normal.
And I saw pictures of her before she got pregnant, and I mean, she's gorgeous. Period. Like you saw it with the makeup. She is an attractive woman, even with that. And I was like,
I mean, no one's gonna look good without teeth in their mouth. Yeah. Like that's just the thing.
I don't look good with teeth in my mouth.
Your body sometimes. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't look good with teeth in my mouth. So you can imagine what I'm going to look like without teeth.
I don't know. I hope I don't lose all of my teeth. That would be so. Oh man. Actually, I wouldn't even mind having dentures, I guess. But like, oh man.
I don't know.
I'd be terrifying. You'd probably enjoy me not having teeth. That was probably inappropriate. I'm sorry.
It's gonna explode. I had a friend named Travis, and his wife actually had a gum infection that just they couldn't get under control, and are like, "We're gonna have to pull several of your teeth." And Travis was there, and he's like, "Pull them all, pull them all." And I was like,
"He's like, that's fine. It's totally."
I was like, "Travis, you're a horrible, horrible human."
No, so, I mean, rightfully so, though. I totally understand.
Well, guys, it's 10:10.
Okay.
If you guys need to bounce, you can. I wanted to remind everyone the merch store is back up and running. I have a coupon code. If you look at the bottom scroll across the bottom, I also have my affiliate links and everything down below. If you're watching this on, if you're listening to this on Apple, iTunes, and podcasts, there's a good chance that you're going to want to actually watch the video. Some things just don't translate to audio very well. So, there will also, if you're watching it, if you're listening to it on Apple iTunes, there will be a link to the actual video in the description of the podcast. What was this?
He's like, "Toothless lady, did you have a limp? Sounds like an ex of mine."
Grateful Panic review. Nice.
Fucking, that's hilarious.
So, what is it? I don't know where we're going with this. Oh, here we go. Jeremy said something. "I knew a lady when I was younger that brushed her teeth so much that she had dental issues. I had to have her teeth pulled." Yeah, if you use apparently if you use too stiff of a toothbrush, you can cause gum damage.
Yeah, I mean, around here they don't even sell stiff toothbrush brushes anymore at all.
I know.
That's California. Welcome to the nanny state.
Fucking Nazis. It's like, who don't the fuck take away
man,
my
I need those for cleaning stuff. The soft bristles don't do it.
I know.
So yeah, I was gonna say before we leave, Friday's guest is going to be John from BGM Knives.
Nice. That's so dope.
And then Monday the 23rd, we're not gonna have a podcast because I get my last dose of the Fauci ouchie. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be sick. So we're not doing it that day. Then we have Wednesday, the 25th is Stasa 23.
Nice.
And then Friday, the 27th is Jake from the Knife Nuts podcast.
Nice. Oh, that sounds like a great lineup.
Then on Monday, the 30th, which is my birthday, I'm really planning and hoping that we can have Elliot, because I think that would be fun. That would be like a birthday present to myself to have Elliot on the podcast from Ferrum Forge. So Elliot Williamson, that's my plan. That's how it looks right now. Things might change. I've also talked to Nick Shabazz, Jim Skelton, and a couple other people, and they're down to do the show. Zach is going to do the show from Zach's stuff. And we're definitely going to do a thing. I've heard a couple people say that they want to have Jared on more often, because Jared and I talk all the time, and it's just like basically easy. You guys it's really easy, and you guys basically get brought into a phone conversation that Jared and I are having via video conference. Have a great night, everyone. Stay safe. Remember to check out my merch store. Hey, there you go. I should make you a moderator so you can put stuff like that up. So thanks, I appreciate everybody.
Oh, we had such a good time. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I appreciate everybody being adults in the comment section. That doesn't always happen. Yep. Thank you, Mike. Says grateful panic knife for use. I really appreciate it, guys. This is great. And it not only is it, am I turning YouTube into a job? It's actually a really great way for me to spend that time that I really can't be doing anything else. So I really appreciate you guys being here. It's 2 hours and 25 minutes.
This was awesome.
This is fun.
We were a little nervous at first, just like, I don't know, for absolutely no reason. And then once we like warmed up, it was awesome.
You're in my garage with laundry hanging up behind me. I'm like, how nervous can you be?
We're so antisocial.
Part of the Antisocial Social Club. So, all right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this. I will talk to everyone later. I love you guys. Keep it clean in the comments. Give these up votes, down votes. Like I said, any reaction is good interaction. And I will see everyone later.
Later, guys.
Bye, guys.